Everyone, welcome to the Crossroads Podcast, your place to get the latest news, events, and discussion in the world of PlayStation, PC, and Xbox gaming. I am your host, LeRon Dawkins, and back with me tonight are my co-hosts. You know, I said this last week, I'm going to say it again. He's the man who keeps Ghost Energy in business, the one and only Mr. Andre Wilson.
Got canceling right now.
Yeah. Like, dude, when you
right now,
dude, when you get some sponsorships, let me know. Let me know.
Yeah, I will send you the first case. What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Happy spooky season. If you are a fellow Halloweener, if that makes any sense.
Oh, Halloweener. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I legit tried to. You know what? We're gonna move right past that. Happy spooky season.
All right. And sitting to my left right now is the daddy of all dad sims, Mr. Stoyan Jovic. What's up, man?
You know what I discovered last week is that brewing simulator is they delayed it.
They delayed it.
Yeah.
They probably heard all the trash talking you were saying about you remember how we were like, is it real?
My elitist attitude about it, because I'm they're not gonna do it right. It's not gonna be accurate enough for me. And they were probably like, shit, guys, he's onto us. We gotta change it. Yeah. We gotta pull a cyberpunk and change it. Everything.
Hey-o.
Yeah. And if you noticed, guest host.
If you notice, I'm drinking G Fuel, so G Fuel, if you want to sponsor me too. Please sponsor me. I think they sponsor anybody.
Completely cut them off.
I'm just drinking plain old water out of an Under Armour bottle. So Under Armour, if you want to sponsor me, like particularly the Rocks clothing, you know.
Hey, I'm wearing it. So there you go.
Dwayne Johnson collection. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
As LeRon was saying, if you haven't noticed, we have a special guest. He is the fastest fist in the tower. He is the Saint 14 helmet-wearing man, the Bubble Boy himself, Corey Dawkins. Everyone.
What? Corey and I are not married.
Everyone.
Corey and I are not married.
Corey, I looked at LeRon's name before I said Corey.
Corey and I are not married.
Corey Dawkins.
Corey, does your wife know that we're a throuple? Does your wife know this?
I looked at your name before I said Corey.
I don't think so. I think I regret my decision.
Well, she is in the chat, and she did have something to say about this. So, no, she's not in the chat. That would be funny though.
She's not. She's in the living room, probably watching 90 Day Fiance or one of those shows.
Okay, guys, how's it going? Like, you guys already kind of got like a taste of how my day has been going. How you guys doing?
It's going, you know, living the dream, living life, doing the parenting thing.
That's fun,
working.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah. It's the best.
It's great. I would change it for the world.
My day is just fine. That's it.
Well, Corey, your son's adenoids are out. Is his sleep patterns getting better?
Nope. Next question.
Has the surgery healed up?
Oh yeah, it heals in like less than a day. The way they do it now.
What did they go in and they like cauterize?
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt though.
Apparently it doesn't, because my daughter also had the same surgery, and they were bouncing off the walls like as soon as they woke up. So
oh snap! Because I feel like I would be an absolute mess.
As adults.
As adults,
as an adult, if you get your tonsils or your adenoids removed, it is extremely traumatic. As a child, it is much easier to bear. So
good to know, because like
if you need to get your tonsils out right now, good luck.
Good to know, because my doctors actually thought about like getting like yanking my tonsils out back when I was having like really bad problems with sinus infections and stuff like that. So thank God.
That's gonna hurt, bro.
Thank God. No.
Ooh,
no. Didn't happen. Well, I missed you guys. You too, Corey. Like, you're not always here.
I missed you too.
You're not always here.
I especially miss Stoy. I haven't seen him in a hot minute.
Remember the days where we would talk about Xbox on a podcast? Those were the days.
I remember the days.
Now there's barely any Xbox news. Like besides just all this Activision Blizzard bullshit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, yeah. But I mean, so hey, it's good to see you guys tonight. And as we get settled into the show, like, let me just go ahead and let you know that you please do not forget that you are checking out the Crossroads podcast, which comes to you every week to bring the latest news, rumors, games, and general discussion in the world of PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. Crossroads airs live on Tuesday nights on youtube.com/Exodus803, normally at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless there's some type of crazy ass like technical difficulties, or the host does not realize he's not getting text messages from friends, family, and people that love him, and an implosion happens. So yeah, there's that. As always, you can help.
Okay, it's okay. You don't need to be glued to your phone all the time.
You know what? I actually revel in the fact that I'm one of those people. I'm breaking up the housekeeping here, but hold on a second. Back when after I lost my job at GameStop, it took me a while to get gainfully employed. And when I say a while, it took me over 2 years because I had a very vast resume by that point. I was in my mid 30s at that point, so I'd done a lot of jobs and stuff. But yeah, so over time, like I depleted my savings and all that stuff. Wound up having to sacrifice things. The last thing to go was a cell phone. Like, it was the last thing to go, and I was without a cell phone for probably a little over a year. Until I got the job that I'm in now, my IT career and stuff like that. And let me tell you, like, the moment you get used to being off the grid, where basically no one can reach you, you appreciate it so much. I have people who get mad at me because like, my cell phone's gotten so matter of fact that I will literally walk out the door with it and be halfway to my destination, realize I don't have my phone, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need it. And I just keep going. I just keep going. 3 hours later, I come back, phone's blowing the hell up because like everybody thought I fell off the face of the earth, but no, it's just I left my phone. And it's one of those things. I got used to not being plugged in, which is funny because like anytime you hang out with me and you see me, I'm always on my phone, but I can just as easily walk away and forget it. Like there are literally days like when I'm home and I will go downstairs in the living room and watch something, play a video game on the big TV, leave the phone upstairs, and usually my smartwatch is on the charger. So
well, and that's the problem I have with other people, is that other people are so like damn connected to this that, especially like, you could communicate at the touch of a few buttons, and it's like if you don't respond back within a couple minutes, they get pissed off. Why?
They get pissed off.
Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, do you really need that comfort of being close to someone, even though it's on a phone? Like, you need to have constant feedback. Like, that's the one thing. Like, it's always bugged me that people have to like communicate with their spouses over text like all day, every day. Where it's like I could literally go a full 12 hours without even saying a word to my wife in a day.
Over the phone?
Over phone, text, anything.
Dude.
There could be a literal like 12 hours. Like, I mean, even today, I didn't see her all day. I didn't see her all day, and literally we just passed each other like ships in a night today. It was like, she's like, "Hi, I'm going to a friend's house." I'm like, "All right, see you later." Like, that was it.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty cool because I feel like
we don't need to be all up in each other's grill. You gotta respect people's privacy, and you gotta understand that sometimes people aren't just like a hair's width away from needing. I don't know. People are not comfortable being by themselves.
I'm not absolutely codependent on my significant other.
I wasn't attacking you. I'm just kind of venting in general.
No. Oh no, I know.
People are too codependent.
It's a real problem though. Like like some people like. So I tweeted earlier today, like, what's your love language? Do you text back too fast or do you take too long to text? Stuff like that. It's been interesting. Somebody who's on the show right now actually accused me of being a text too faster, which is ironic considering how the day turned out. So yeah. But anyway, back to the housekeeping real fast. As always, you can head over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcast locations to get audio versions of the show, which are hosted Wednesdays over at the various sites. Also, the video recap of the show can be found early Thursday mornings at youtube.com/Boss Rush Network. And if you want to see any previous episodes of our show, all episodes of Crossroads can be found at bossrush.net. If you like the show and you're checking us out right now live on YouTube, please consider subscribing and also giving us a thumbs up, a like, and also turn on notifications so you know when the next episode is airing of the show. And please remember to share, rate, and review us if you are listening to the audio version of the podcast. We would love love you. All right, fellas. Now that's out of the way. Hey guys, what have we been playing this week? Who wants to go first? You know what?
I'll
Actually,
go first. I'll go first.
you go first. All right.
So
all right.
a little bit of Destiny, a little bit of Zelda, and then actually on.
Wait, Zelda. Were you still doing Ocarina of Time?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And then what day was it? I think it was like Friday or Saturday. A homie of mine told me to watch the new Cyberpunk
Edge Runner, Edge Runner show. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I heard about the hype. I was like, all right, you know what? I got nothing to do. I was like, sure. And I watched like the first episode, and I was like, holy shit, this is good. So then I watched 2 and 3, and prior to my friend telling me, he's like, when you watch the show, you will get so hooked that you'll want to play Cyberpunk again. And
so you're
I
one.
was like,
So you're one of the 2 million. You're one of the 2 million.
well, no, I had it right, and I've been playing
No. I mean, you're one of the 2 million concurrent players.
Oh yeah, he told me like apparently like since that's come out, Steam has just skyrocketed.
Got a bump.
Yeah. So like I watched the first episode and I was like, yo, this is like really cool. So then I watched the 2 and 3, and then I was like, all right, fuck it, and I just started playing Cyberpunk a lot this weekend.
So the question. So are you rerunning it, or are you just playing from your old save?
I'm just playing from my old save because like I played it I think pre this new season of Destiny. I was just like super into it, and then it's basically the game for me when like there's not a whole lot to do in Destiny. I kind of just like throw that on and I just kind of just like vibe out and trying to just go about my day. But what's cool is that there's edge runner things in the actual game of Cyberpunk.
Mhm.
So yeah. So you can get like David's jacket from the game, and there's tips and clues and tidbits around Night City that they have left for you in the game from the show.
Wait. Hold on. So wait, is this because of a patch, or was this always in the game and we just didn't know about it?
It was a patch that when the anime dropped,
Got it. Okay.
they patched it. So like in the game, you can go find like Dave's jacket. You can go find XYZ. You just have to go find it in the city, and there's clues everywhere.
Mm.
So
Okay.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, that is.
It's really
that's
cool.
really cool.
So, yeah. Well, I have to ask this question, but I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Were you already having fun with Cyberpunk before this happened, or were you one of the people that weren't really impressed by it? But like it's a visually striking game. If you have if you have decent equipment, because you're playing on PC, right?
Yeah. So I was at first I wanted the game when it first came out, and then I just saw like the whole nightmare situation. So I was like, all right, screw it. And then I waited. I think it's been 2 years now. And I think I bought it a couple months ago, but I was humming and hawing for a while, and I kept googling things prior to buying it. I'm like, is Cyberpunk fixed? And there was a whole bunch of yeses and a whole bunch of no's, and I'm like, I don't know. So then one day
I think it's been fixed for at least a few months. I mean, ever since they put out the PS5 the Series X upgrade, like, it's been largely fixed.
Yeah, it's been super well. So there was a Steam sale, and Cyberpunk it went from like 89 to like 45 bucks. And I'm like, shit, I'll never see this again. I'm like, you know what? If it's not that,
ladies and gentlemen, he's saying $89 Canadian.
Yeah, sorry. I'm the only one in here that's from Canada. So,
I have to put that disclaimer out sometimes because like it will cause confusion.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. So anyway, long story short, it was on sale. I pulled the trigger. I bought it. I was a little hesitant going into it, but now that I am where I am in the game, I can understand the hype and joy around it. It's a lot of fun.
I enjoyed the game. What I was playing of it, I'm a day oner. Like I got a day one. I sank money into a graphics card. So yeah, you best believe I was getting it fucking day one.
I got a day one too.
Yeah, so
I also did. I played the Xbox One version on the Series X though.
Yeah,
same.
I was a day oner, and even running on a 20 series graphics card, like I didn't have that many problems. Like of course it wasn't going to hit 60 frames, which hey, 48 frames is good for me. Like it's better than 30.
I think I hit like 56 frames or something.
Oh, nice on a 1070.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I know.
Yeah, but so I mean, I haven't been back into Night City with all these. Actually, the very first patch, the big patch that basically got PS5 and Xbox people back on, like that was the last time I played it. But I haven't played the three subsequent patches there yet. And like it's at the point where when I do get back into it, I have to start over. So yeah, but
That's fair.
I enjoyed Cyberpunk, and a lot of people that listen to Crossroads over the last 96 episodes know that I'm a champion of Cyberpunk 2077. Like this, like shit, like we used to have a Cyberpunk 2077 segment on the show, basically because we talked about it. Well, it was more like there was always Cyberpunk news, so like it was par for
fair.
the course.
Yeah.
It was par for the course for the show and stuff like that. So yeah, so
Hi, buddy.
so good,
so
good.
Thank you
so
for the
good
banana.
on you.
So yeah, so if anyone hasn't played it in a while,
why is he waving a banana at us?
I don't know. My son just brought me a banana, so I'm just I have a banana now. If anyone hasn't played it since
that was
kind
of spontaneous, wasn't it?
It was very spontaneous. He's opened the door. He's like, banana, and I was like, all right, cool. So if anyone hasn't played it since the anime has dropped, I highly suggest you boot it up and play it because there's some new things in the game.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Zelda, Destiny. Nope, that's all. That's all she wrote.
All right, cool. All right, Story, you're
up. More Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yes.
How's that going?
I have a question.
You're playing the DLC though, the Siege of Paris, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did I talk? I talked about beating it last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I did. Because I beat the main campaign, and then I moved on to the Siege of Paris, and I actually just finished that one. And that one is like old school Assassin's Creed. It's actually really cool because you actually have to hunt for ways to kill your targets.
Mm-hmm.
I always love that when you have to find the route that's safest to kill the person.
Yeah, and there's actually multiple different ways to do it, and the area that you're in sets it up. So like, say for example, you got this target, you have to kill this guy, and he's in the church. So like you have to find, but the church is like surrounded by guards. Like you could hop the gates and maybe just like try to kill everybody, whatever, but that's not fun. So what you want to do is you want to kind of investigate. Oh, you found out by someone saying there's a hidden underground entrance, but you need to kill the guard with the key. So you kill the guard with the key, you go use that underground entrance, and then you come to find that this guy is holding like a secret ceremony in the basement. So you have to disguise yourself as someone to go into this secret thing that he's doing in the basement, the secret whatever it is. And then you disguise yourself, and then you kind of like land the killing blow, and then you get out. Or you could just be a dick, kill everybody as you walk in, and then just kind of do that, whatever. But yeah, it's really cool because there's like multiple different ways to do it instead of just kind of like how the last couple of Assassin's Creed games have been. It's like, oh, look, there he is sitting in the middle of the square. You just jump from a treetop, just stab him, and you move on with your day. This is like actually more of the old school, like investigating and, multiple different paths. Like, it's really cool.
Is this one of the the targets where they have like a certain path that they walk around and you have to time it? Oh, okay.
No.
Those ones were always hard because you had to really precisely figure it out.
So there was like one, for example, you find you find out he's standing right above a large cross in the church. And it's like you sneak in through the rooftop and you get this message like, hey, there is some structural damage around that cross. So it's like, hey, my target is standing right underneath that large cross that's barely dangling off the wall. I'm going to destroy the cross and it's going to land right on top of him. So cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. But I didn't realize how close the Siege of Paris was to real life events. Because that's the one thing I really like about Assassin's Creed games is they actually blend actual historical events to the game. And there was an actual Viking siege of Paris where Charles the Fat, as he was named in real life, he was the king of Francia at the time. And he got involved and he made a deal with all these Vikings at the time to just be like, hey, I'm going to give you all this silver and we'll give you pieces of land. Just leave us alone. And a lot of the people from France at the time were kind of pissed off. They were like, "Why are you making a deal with these fucking Vikings? You know, we want our land back." So that's when France decided to kind of split apart once Charles couldn't be king anymore. So, but yeah, the game, the DLC is like centered around those events at the time. It was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, I joined up on a podcast to talk about Castlevania, so I had to brush up on my Castlevania knowledge. And the two games that I played a lot of were Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness for the PlayStation 2. And I don't know if you guys ever played those.
I didn't. I don't think I've ever even knew that those existed.
I've tried. I tried. Actually, I tried out both of them. I never beat them. The last modern Castlevania game. Well, shit, modern. It's vintage at this point. Symphony of the Night was the last Castlevania game that I actually beat, but I have tried out the newer ones like Lords of Shadow, for example.
I played that.
And a couple of the other ones. I thought about getting the Castlevania collection that came out, but I was like, am I really going to play it? Because like they're honestly like the GBA games. You know, I'm like, I was one of those people.
Well, some of those you can't even find anymore. Like actually, Kid Dracula, I don't think was ever released in America.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So that's a good place to get it and play it. But Lament of Innocence was apparently there's an actual Castlevania timeline. So there's it's like kind of like the Legend of Zelda timeline, except it doesn't split off into 3 branches. But so Lament of Innocence, which came out on the PlayStation 2, it kind of wanted to do a little bit of what God of War was doing at the time, where it made it like third-person free roaming action adventure, and it took the Symphony of the Night formula and put it into a 3D environment, and it did really well. Like I really enjoyed the game, but it was like the first game in the canonical timeline. So that was when your main character Leon Belmont first defeated Dracula for the first time, and he said at the end, "My entire family will hunt you down to the ends of the earth. Mark my words." It's like, wow, okay.
That's intense.
Yeah, that was. It was
intense.
The only Castlevania game I ever played was Castlevania 64.
Oh, that's that's a terrible one, man.
That's the best one. Don't let them tell you anything.
That is the word. That Corey, that's a lie. It was so bad. It was so bad that they had to remake the game 10 months later.
Who's the character in that game?
Something Belmont
Blocky
or something like that.
Belmont.
Yeah.
Blocky.
No, that game did so bad that the actual creators of the game took it out of the timeline. They said it doesn't count.
Holy shit! Wow.
You're fighting skeletons on motorcycles in that game.
That's cool. It's like, it's like Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that, but it's Castlevania. Otherwise, I played Lords of Shadow because that was a really good one. That was supposed to be a reboot of the entire series, where it's like a whole new origin story of Dracula and everything. And then Lords of Shadow 2 was like a dumpster fire, and it did extremely poorly, to the point where even the developers of that game came out in like open letters saying, "Yeah, we knew the game that we were making was a big pile of shit." It's because the game director, like you could look up the story, because the game director was apparently an asshole throughout the entire development process. So,
yeah.
That's it.
All right. Hey, Corey, your turn.
Hey, what? Oh, games.
Let me guess what you've been playing, Corey.
Go ahead, guess.
Not Destiny.
I have been playing Destiny, actually. We ran Kingsfall this weekend, and guess what I got?
You got the touch!
I did. Orcs touched me.
Hey-oh.
We got the touch.
Great song, by the way. Great song.
We got the power. Yeah.
Touch
of malice.
Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Touch of malice?
Yeah.
Or being touched by orcs, whatever you want to pick.
Technically, you're being touched by Toland, but that's a different story. Touch of malice is the exotic weapon from the Kingsfall raid that just kind of drops randomly to anyone at the end. And what it does is you can shoot an infinite amount of bullets out of it without reloading, but once you get to the final bullet in the magazine, it starts draining your life. But the catch is in the raid when you're shooting orcs, you have an like a invincibility kind of aura, so it counteracts the exotic perk to it. So
is touch stronger against orcs?
I think people use it because it you don't have to reload it.
Yeah, you just fired okay, yeah.
I mean, I think pound for pound. Well, first of all, you don't want to use a primary on a raid boss. You're going to want to use that Typhon, whatever they call it.
Oh yeah, the Typhon. Yeah.
But if you have to use a primary, I think pound for pound, Outbreak Perfected with the Catalyst is stronger.
God,
but the fact that yeah, oh my gosh, it's the only gun. I never take it off.
I know, that's all you ran when we did it. I was like, he's not taking this off.
I'm not. Why would I? It's so good.
It's an okay gun.
No, dude. When you get headshots, it shoots little bombs out of it that home onto other enemies.
I have it, and I have the caddy for it, so.
Well, why don't you just go play with your glaive or something? I don't know. So, yeah, I got that. That was pretty exciting this weekend. I don't know if Josh knows yet. I did put it in the Discord, but he never checks the Discord. So, and then my nephews came over this weekend, and we played some Smash Brothers. And
who won?
We played me.
Okay, that's
not letting them win. They got to learn how to do something.
It's ruthless.
I saw the photo op you and the boys took.
Yeah, they were excited because they never really get to play games with me. But then my older nephew wanted to play Fortnite, so I let him, and I let my younger nephew play my Switch, and I did our social media stuff for the first half of the week. But man, I gave my older nephew a hard time because he kept saying he was a sweat at Fortnite.
Oh no!
He started using all these terms that I was make older people cringe.
Was he cranking 90s and flossing?
Dude, he won 6 times in solos while
that's
he was
insane. How old is he?
9.
Is that even healthy?
I don't know.
Good lord.
But he was all excited because I have a bunch of skins and he doesn't have any really because he's 9 and doesn't have any money or a job. So he was looking at all the skins that I had because I bought the Destiny skins and I bought the Master Chief skin and the skins I would use if I actually played Fortnite but don't. So it was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
9 times though.
Yeah, dude. I was I wanted to make fun of him so bad for using all these terms, but I can't make fun of him if he's winning.
Yeah, homie just shit on you if you even say
anything. He's like 1v1 me. I'm like, no, I'd smoke you in secretly. I'm like, no, you're losing to a 9-year-old.
Oh man, you know what you should have done though? You should have played him and then be like, I just let you win.
Yeah.
I mean, but then inside I would have been hurting. So I would have been.
Yeah, no kidding. You would have wanted to won him, and as Zavala, he'd no scope you, and then just emote over your dead body, and then you'd be like, all right,
no. No, he's like, what? You don't have this dance? You don't have this dance? I'm like, no, I don't. You don't understand. I don't play Fortnite all that much. It's only installed because I know you're gonna want to play it when you come over here. That's literally the only reason why it's installed.
Oh, look at you! Look at you being an awesome uncle. Look at you.
And I said, I only buy the skins just in case I want to play. Then I will be Master Chief or Scarlet Witch or whatever. Which, by the way, I have to say, it's a good thing that I'm not into Fortnite because if I was, we would be living in a cardboard box, and I'd have to get one of those. You'd
be buying all that shit.
You should have been here the one day I talked about my Fortnite obsession back in the day before Destiny. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh! It's just oh my gosh! These skins, it's so cool to see Wolverine fight Darth Vader and Batman, and oh my gosh, it's like what Smash wants to be, but like, which I get, like Smash does it great for Nintendo stuff, but this is like everything else, and it's wild. Like, I give Fortnite a lot of credit, man. That game does a lot of interesting things.
I think Ninja, the content creator, he said it once. He was basically talking about how, like, as much as people shit on Fortnite, what Fortnite has done for gaming, no one else has ever done. He's like, you can have LeBron James, the Joker, Darth Vader, and Master Chief fight Naruto, Goku, a banana, and Spider-Man. He's like, no game has ever even come close to that. So yeah, people will like say it's like, oh, it's Fortnite, but like deep down, like, you have to give Fortnite credit for what it's done, and like it's crazy that like the amount of collabs they've done. Like, they're basically like the Thanos of games. They've just like collected everything. It's crazy.
It's wild, man. And like even watching my nephew play, I'm like, man, this is like and I was like, dude, play the no build mode, because I was like, if you want to get really good at this game, you need to do the no build mode.
No build is where it's at.
He's like, all right, I'll do no build, and he won like 3 games in a row at no build. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? What kind of warped world am I in? But yeah, it was fun. So Fortnite is interesting game, but that's kind of all I've been playing. I did download Overwatch 2, but the servers are down, so did not play. Also, found out that the Switch version of Overwatch 2 just uses the Overwatch client and updates it.
Oof.
So
Switch so ahead of the game.
Is that I was about to ask something that was really facetious. I was about to ask, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I went to the, because like at break at work I was like, well, I'll download Overwatch 2 just to see what happens, right? And I went to the Overwatch 2 page and it said re-download. I'm like, re-download? I haven't even touched Overwatch 2. What's going on? So I hit re-download, and I go to the home screen, and it's just the Overwatch icon pops up. And then when it's done downloading, it like installs an update that says Overwatch 2. I'm like, oh, okay. That's it. Laurent, what are you playing?
Oh, well, of course I'm back on my bullshit. I am, of course, playing Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak. I was about to mix all that shit up. I was about to say Monster Hunter Frontier, Sunbreak. I was about to mix it all up.
It's all the same.
Yeah, the title update too has come out, and I'm not a Monster Hunter meta player. I like playing Monster Hunter to have fun, but I've been messing around with some of the meta-like stuff because some of the new skills they've introduced into the game are just fucking sick. I mean, like there's skills in the game now that almost put you in like this god mode perspective, and especially with the type of weapons I play with, because I play with the gun lance, and the gun lance is not a it's not a favorite weapon, you know. Like people like the gun lance, but when you jump on the Monster Hunter, like whether it's Monster Hunter World or whether it's Monster Hunter Rise right now, everybody's playing with the long swords because you know they have this Rurouni Kenshin like fetish, you know, and stuff like that. Or people are using the freaking the second popular weapon in the game is probably the charge blade, which I can't remember. Like, no, it wasn't either you guys. It was I think it was Stephanie. I was talking to her about it. But yeah, you get out there, you see a whole bunch of like freaking like it's either guns or the longsword, which is not a big problem. But because I actually respect the gun because I used to play as a gunner in the original Monster Hunter game before like the longsword came out, and then I jumped ship and went to longsword back when longsword was edgy to use longsword. Now longsword is overpowered, stuff like that. But anyway, I got back into making some gunnery builds and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm back to shooting shit, you know, in Monster Hunter, which has been fun, you know. So I'm like, it's like I'm back to light bow gun, and then I go back to gun lance, which gun lance became my favorite main. But yeah, the new content though, like it's it's starting to get grindy now. Let's put it that way. Like I'm starting to like get to that point where I have to grind, to get stuff done, which is cool because the new monsters that they introduced so far are nice, and they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to sneak one more in before Title Update 3 comes out, which Title Update 3 will be out sometime, like if not later at the end of this year or probably the beginning of next year. So I've been back on that. I have been playing some more of the Dealfield Chronicle, and I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get in there, I think what's throwing me off was just the combat system was different. Like I was really going and expecting to be like Final Fantasy 7 or Tactics Ogre. And I'm not Final Fantasy. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy Tactics.
I was going to say
Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre, and I was expecting to be like that. And you know what? It is to an extent, but just they had to do something different with the combat system, and that's the part that threw me. But the combat system is not. There's nothing wrong with it. The characters are still a little bland, but I think in all honesty, like you're supposed to be there for the adventure and not for the characters. JRPGs are just so weird sometimes. It's like
sometimes.
I mean, that's just the way to say it, and I understand now why I really got out of RPGs like back when I did, because they're half a heartbeat away from just boring you to fucking death, and Dealfield Chronicle has kind of does that. It rides that slippery slope sometimes, and it's like come on, like I know there's a game underneath here, because like if there wasn't, like I said last week, trust your gut, like if you feel like you need to put the game down, trust your gut and put it down, stuff like that. Like I'm trusting my gut so far, saying, hey, keep playing this game. So, I'm sticking with it. I'm having fun, but I'm still creeping back into Monster Hunter, because I got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. I got monsters to kill. What's up?
See that? Trust your gut and put the game down. I have that with Destiny, but I can't put the game down.
Wait, is it because well, I think it's because Destiny is a little, it's not even okay, so you guys, Story, you play Destiny? Okay, so you guys, so I'm the outsider right now because I have Destiny. Corey, I actually installed it. I just haven't taken the plunge and started creating the character.
Almost there.
I installed it now. Well, what's scary is the fact that I've heard so many veteran Destiny players say, like the moment you put it down, if you literally if you take a vacation or you take a weekend off, like you're gonna have a bad time when you come back.
It's not like that anymore.
I remember when it wasn't like that to begin with.
So for example, because my whole philosophy about gaming is I can't play I can't play more than one always on game at the same time, which is why Monster Hunter has been so hard for me to put down, because even though the cool thing about Monster Hunter is I can put that down and pick it back up and not have a problem, but I was so afraid that Destiny was one of, because I hear people saying you take a weekend off, you're done, you go on family vacation, you're done, stuff like that. And that's the scary part, because I also do not want to get into the pay to win trap, because, apparently the way to catch up was to spend some money.
No, it's not like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They automatically boost all new players to the minimum light level to play the things.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And the campaign is light level locked. So you can't even say I'm 300 light level higher than you, it'll put me at your light level, because that's just the way the campaign works.
So
if me and Corey join you for your story, we will get bumped, regardless of how tough we are. We get bumped down to what your game is locked at, so we're all equal on the playing field. So we can have the highest tier shit, but we will still get one shot if that's
an interesting way of doing matchmaking. That's interesting.
Yeah. It makes it so whoever is starting the game in this instance, it makes it so you still have a good experience with everyone. That way, me and Corey aren't just stand here and we'll just run a train through everyone. That way, we all still have to do something.
Yeah, because whenever you guys jump on Monster Hunter, I would definitely say hey, you guys have a problem with this monster, call in my main. I got it.
I'll call him Iron Man. Just go. I'll be here.
Well, no. I'm going to teach you how to fight it. I'm going to be hey, when this happens, you do this. No, get in there and stab it right now. Do that. And the moment I see you getting smacked down, then I'll just jump in and like start doing my thing and stuff like that.
See, I like the way Destiny 2 does that then, because it's like it makes it actually more appealing and a little challenging even for the person that's the higher light level. Because in the past, like if you like when I used to play that game a lot, like if I would help like friends of mine that just get the game, and it's like, man, I really don't want to help you because it's so easy for me. But like, you want to kind of sell them the experience too. So like if I come in there with a shitty attitude because like this is way too easy for me, I'm way too overpowered, then it's like it sours the experience for you. So that's cool that at least it kind of lowers that so that you can at least have like a kind of like a minimum fighting chance, I guess.
Yeah, and then now when you finish the campaign, it automatically puts you at like in-game levels, so you can like go do like low-level strikes and all this other stuff. If you play the campaign on Legendary, it automatically puts you at raid ready light level. So that's cool too. But I mean that's like
man,
that Legendary campaign's super hard.
I wonder. Well, with Monster Hunter, one thing I will say is like at people at lighter levels can't jump into the higher levels. So like that there's the matchmaking portion of that, like for example, like if you're in low rank, if you're still in low rank, if you're still qualified for only low rank, you can't jump into high rank, and you sure as hell can't jump into master rank. Now unfortunately master rank people can come all the way down to like the lower ranks and stuff like that, not have a problem. So I wonder how the Monster Hunter community would take it if a matchmaking was similar to Destiny, where like even though I'm master rank, like I'm master rank 5, I'm hunter rank 539, master rank 111 right now. I wonder.
Flex.
No, it's not, because there are people who are already at 999.
Scrub.
Yeah, like no, I don't know. I don't burn up a Monster Hunter game like that. I don't like you. Like I said, I don't play meta. So yeah, if I played meta, I would have already been Master Hunter rank 999 and somewhere in the high 500s in Master rank, But I don't play meta because I feel like playing meta is, I'm not having fun at that point. I'm just sitting here like I'm just trying to whack a monster in like 3 minutes, and get on to the next mission, stuff like that. I like the unpredictability, even though when like, because every monster has a tell for like their next attacks and all this stuff. Even when it, like sometimes it's unpredictable because like, hey, sometimes like your game glitches and like you missed the tell and all of a sudden this monster's doing like an instant attack and stuff like that. And you have to like react and stuff like I love that. Like playing meta in Monster Hunter though, like you wind up doing this thing that's called stun locking, where basically like you're just smashing the monster to pieces and stuff like that, and the monster can't move and stuff like that, and that's because like you are doing the absolute everything, to the monster and stuff like that, which I understand that's fun for some people. It's not fun for me. I've never been a meta player. As a matter of fact, I'm not competitive enough to be like that. I enjoy the co-op elements of Monster Hunter. Well, I'm lying. While I say I enjoy the co-op element of Monster Hunter, I do play people, play multiplayer with people and stuff like that. But I will just go and solo a quest, like, and it's nothing to solo quest. So there's like 3 monsters in the quest. You have to beat all 3 of them before you can come back and stuff like that. I will go out there and solo it, and just my friends used to, you're so antisocial with Monster Hunter. I'm like, well, there was a time when nobody was playing Monster Hunter except me, and I had to play it by myself. So I got used to playing it by myself. So I don't care if you fuckers come with me or not, stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, like I wonder how if Monster Hunter had matchmaking to where like us master rank and high rank players, like we're actually trying to carry our buddies who are just starting out in Hunter rank 1. I wonder how the community would react to that. That would be fascinating. It'd be hilarious too, because everybody would be like, I get this weapon and it doesn't do shit because I'm getting one shot. And yeah, I would love to see Reddit in the forums with that one. I would love it. But yeah, that's everything I've been playing. There is one more game that I have actually started playtesting, but I will talk about that a little bit later in the show, because that's going to be part of a news segment that happens later on. So guys, we can go ahead and move on to our next. We can start the show now. Like we're into the new and noble games section.
We can start the show now.
You know what I mean?
I thought we were recording this whole time. Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
Y'all are some fucking jerks. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You know, I swear a lot on this show. I think I swear more on this show back than I did when it was like the golden days before episode 25. You know,
the golden days.
The golden days. Wow.
Hey, like,
what are we, trash?
We're almost at episode 100.
And you know what we're doing for that, right?
You have an idea? Because I sure don't know what the hell we're doing.
Mesh tank top, camel cargos, onesie. We're doing it. It's fucking happening.
I have my camel pants at the ready.
I have my onesie right in my closet. It's ready to roll.
I'm gonna have to shake out the mesh tank top. Okay.
I'm concerned.
All right. All right. We're gonna go ahead and break into our notable games segment for the show now. So, hey, this is the notable games coming to PlayStation, PC, and Xbox for the week of the 3rd of October to the 9th of October. I just want you guys to know real quickly, this week's lineup has been completely shadowed by the most anticipated launch for a shooter game that is not Call of Duty. I'm talking about Overwatch 2. Also, you know,
I legitimately forgot that game was a thing until today. I legit forgot. I woke up and I was like, "Overwatch 2 news," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that game's coming up."
yeah. Also, if you're into these types of things, like there is also a mix of survival, horror, and sim games for gamers to get into this week. Andre,
Dread sounds insane.
You want to handle this, or you want me to do it?
Yeah.
All
so
right.
there's a few games we're doing something a little different. There's a few games I'm gonna be reading out the description. Some I won't, some I am. So let us know in the comments, the feedback, what y'all think. October 3rd, Vesper Ether Saga Episode 1. The perfect union between video games and comics. Start with the heroine, Vesper, and win new allied units with unique abilities. Level up your characters, unlock new skills, active and passive abilities, and improve them. That's all for October 3rd. October 4th.
By the way, Vesper Ether Saga Episode 1 is coming out on PC.
Oh yeah, sorry. On PC,
and it's a strategy RPG.
Sorry, there's a lot more to read now, so I might miss a few things. October 4th. I don't even know if I have to even like tell you what this game is. Overwatch 2. I mean, like if you played Overwatch 1, it's the same thing. It's basically the same thing.
No, it's Overwatch
not. 2.
No, it's not.
It's basically. Come on.
New characters,
Overwatch
new
2,
locales.
Okay, there's a new character. Her name's Kiriko. She's a ninja healer. She's a healer. Overwatch 2 is a supercharged sequel that sends players deeper into the world and story of Overwatch. There's a story. It comes out on every console. It's Overwatch 2. Everyone, I'm sure you guys know what it is. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here.
I'm kind of excited.
That's curious.
Cool.
I'm curious.
I liked Overwatch.
Alfred Hitchcock, Vertigo, adventure game for the Xbox family of consoles. Dakar.
Nope. Oh crap!
Hey, there it is.
Wait. Yeah, oh yeah. It came out on PlayStation a week early, and yeah, it hit Xbox this week.
Okay, got it. Yeah, because I was gonna say I just got it in the mail.
Yeah.
Just actually.
Have you played
recording. It? No, it's literally still in the seal.
It's still in the plastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I just it was at my doorstep when I got home tonight. So.
Let us know how it is when you do play it.
Yeah, please. I was about to say
I'm on a video game podcast. Of course, I'm going to tell you about it.
Well,
unless it's trash. Could be trash.
Well, I said when you play it because like I know you have a backlog of games just like everybody else does.
Yes, I do.
And you're not like some wishy-washy people on this damn show that like have the game but never play it or start the game and never finish it,
or just haven't played RE4.
I have played.
I feel like you guys are attacking me because this is all true.
All these shows is just a circle jerk on who is attacking who. So that's kind of what it is.
Basically, or it's just like we have like a solid segment of just like shit talking Laurent and saying he sucks that he can't finish a game.
Yeah, or that he hasn't even started like well-known franchises.
Like Uncharted 4.
I'm still waiting for that to come to the PC.
I'm still waiting for the PC version.
Hey, there's still some more games to talk about for October 4th.
You know what, Laurent? Don't play Uncharted 4.
I will be playing it when it comes out later this month on the PC.
Go straight to Lost Legacy. It's shorter. It's better.
I feel like hold on. I feel like I feel like you shortchange yourself if you play Lost Legacy before you play Uncharted 4. I feel like you're supposed to play Uncharted 4.
I don't know. I was really just joking.
You don't have
but
to.
I think Lost Legacy is the best Uncharted. I know that seems.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, a lot of people really enjoyed it for what it did.
I kind of want to agree with Corey because I played more than half of Uncharted 4, and I told you guys I kind of put it down because it kind of got stale for me.
My thing with Uncharted 4 is that it was way too long. That game was way too long.
There was that too.
Funny you say that. we had a talk about that last week. Number 2, October 4th, Dakar Desert Rally, a racing game. PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. This one sounds interesting. Dread, survival horror. Dread is a 4-player online co-op game where you explore haunted environments ranging from abandoned manors, the underground catacombs below Paris, abandoned schools, and more. When it comes to horror games, schools you just don't fuck with. I'm sorry, but
no, I'm sorry.
Haunted schools is like another level of.
Sorry, the schools or hospitals for me.
God. Like insane asylums, like abandoned, run down insane asylums, but also the underground catacombs of Paris. Hell no, I saw that damn movie. Saw that movie.
What I thought too. I'm like this. No. No,
I can't remember the name of that movie, but I saw a movie where a home dude. Where there was like a small little flame on the ground, and guy went to look at it. Next thing you know, like he got sucked into the concrete below the city, and it's like, what?
Yeah,
nope.
No, but yeah,
pass.
Yeah.
All right. Trust no one. Sometimes death isn't the end. Or play together in VR. That's also a double no. Who plays survival horrors in VR? Like that's a huge no. If you do, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
I mean, admittedly, I didn't get very far in Resident Evil 7.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I have, but like that.
I'm sorry.
As a horror game, would just be terrifying.
I'm sorry. I told Nick Apostolides when he was on episode 50. The voice and mocap actor for Leon for Resident Evil right now. I told him that he threw a challenge out to me that because they found out I'd never played Resident Evil 7, so he threw a challenge out to me that I had to play Resident Evil 7, but I had to play in VR, and I'm just a big bitch. I don't know if I just want to be emotionally damaged like that. So I'm sorry, Nick. It is now episode 96 Crossroads, and I still have not done it yet. I'm so sorry.
Nick,
don't worry. I'm sure
he hasn't even beaten the game that you are the main character of. So there's that. October 5th, we are on Revalia Dungeon Raiders.
Yeah,
Revalia is a single-player action RPG and a roguelite video game with a cartoon art style that combines the best of both genres.
The best
of both genres. In it, you will take control of 4 main characters who must confront the evil jester who has wrapped the castle of Revalia in a space-time loop. Deathverse, Let It Die. Oh, sorry. Revalia is an action RPG for the PlayStation and PC. Deathverse, Let It Die is an adventure game for the PC. This next game sounds like an anxiety-inducing game. It's called My Last Night Here. It's a horror game for PC. You were kidnapped by a crazy serial killer in the middle of nowhere. Can you find your way out? Through the escape, the player will find terrifying facts about the unknown killer and will find himself deeper and deeper in the trap. That sounds so anxiety-inducing. I'm sorry, but that's whoa.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of emotional damage. October 6th. Jesus Christ, I'm just fucking slurring all myself here.
Yeah. Now you know how I feel.
Yeah, no kidding. Medieval Dynasty. We have a simulator.
You guys need help? Let me know.
For the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Number 2.
Look at that typo.
Yeah, I was like, what? Number 2 is a triple take. Oh, sorry, it's called Triple Take, and it's an indie game for the PC. Stoy, if you want to take over, that'd be great.
Oh, okay, sure.
I'm getting all my shit confused. There's a lot of words on the screen all of a sudden. Holy.
Right.
There's a lot of words on the screen.
There is. There's a lot.
This is a big one here.
Yeah.
You got Falling Out, which is a platformer for the PlayStation and Xbox families, and P and C. What is that?
PC? Yeah.
What does that stand for?
Read the damn thing.
Okay. Take control of 2 accidental adventures as you explore ancient kingdoms, discover treasures, be careful of the traps, and bump into equally lost shopkeeper Azar. Collect items to craft weird weapons and useful objects that will help you traverse the world in this unplanned escapade. It was supposed to be a relaxing vacation, but ditch the itinerary because you'll now need to choose your own path, navigate through procedurally generated levels, and I'm out. I was in for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it says procedurally generated levels, and I can't do that with games anymore. That offer the perfect balance of risk and reward. Help Giorgio and Felicia overcome their differences and work as a team in single player or co-op. However you play, you'll need to work together to conquer the unique obstacles and challenges scattered throughout each world. Oh, that's interesting. This is an interesting one.
This next one sounds like a story written all over it.
Priest Simulator for the PC.
You ever want to be a priest? Now's your
Imagine that you have divine powers. What do? Help people or take the piss out of them? That's a priest's life. Now, if you watch, if you watch the trailer,
why you picked this? Help or take the piss out of them. Why did you pick that?
Because this game is not what you expect. This game is literally like it's like a horror first-person shooter game with craft building and world building elements.
This is definitely a parody game. This is not them trying to be a priest for real.
Yeah, you're a priest that actually shoots and destroys and exorcises zombies. So you can actually do exorcisms in this game. It's kind of cool. I'm hoping maybe at some point it'll come to consoles, but I mean I could always play it on the PC. It's no big deal, but
yeah.
So now you got October 7th, Superpower 3. That's a sim. It's coming to PC, and it's a modern geopolitical sim in planet Earth. Rule the world or challenge your knowledge about demography, economics, military strategy, as well as political issues across the globe. Compete with or against other players, or just try to do better than the real-life politicians, which, okay.
That's saying something.
Yeah, you got Dragon Prana. I don't know what that is, but it's an RPG, and it sounds like a Japanese RPG, and I don't know if I'm there for that. But the biggest release this week, move aside Overwatch 2. We got Game of the Year right here.
Drum roll.
As in, LOL surprise, BB's Born to Travel.
Okay. Hold on. You guys are probably going to make fun of me, but it's actually pronounced LOL surprise.
Yeah, because it stands for something, Lil something, right?
I don't know, but my stepdaughter is like obsessed with these things, and she's always like, I say lol.
Lil outrageous littles. That's what it stands for.
Oh, what the heck? That's so odd. But yeah, it's pronounced LOL.
Okay, LOL. Lil outrageous littles.
Yeah, lol dolls.
Fans around the world can't wait to unbox their own LOL surprise doll. It's kind of funny because they put an exclamation point after surprise. Yeah. It's just kind of funny. And you're about to make their dreams come true. Yay. Choose your character and bring the LOL surprise doll. Like, it's just weird to read it like that.
I guess it's supposed to have like the trademark thing behind it, so you know.
I guess, yeah. Bring the LOL surprise doll store to life as you collect fierce dolls with glitter, hearts, diamonds, and more. No matter your age, there's just enough challenge to bring out the fierce LOL surprise doll maker in you. This trip around the world is full of surprises. Be rewarded with new characters and stickers when you complete each stage. Hell yeah. At least they didn't say procedurally generated fashion shows. Then display them in fabulous fashion shows and music concerts. You can even team up with friends in this world tour with same screen cooperative play for up to 4 players. Now, they don't make co-op games like that anymore. We need more couch co-op games like this.
Honestly,
by the way,
listen, if the homies want to come over and play this, I'd be down. Fuck it.
I looked at the trailer of this. It looks like another take on Overcooked.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was. That's what it looked
Yeah.
like. So, with 30 stages and 5 cities to play, you'll soon build your own LOL surprise collection.
Listen, if you guys ever come to Canada and you want to come to my house, we'll play this.
Okay, we all got to buy copies of it.
Bet.
And then we got to rotate. We got to rotate. So like we'll come to you, we'll go to LaRon,
Yeah.
we'll go to Corey, we'll come by my house.
Yeah.
Be all good.
Deal.
Thanks guys for working that out. Just so you know out there, this week featured over 15 new releases across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC platforms. As always, you can check out the complete list of games over at our website, bossrush.net, and always be on the lookout for the notable games coming to PlayStation, PC, and Xbox this week. That article goes up usually at the beginning of the week. Normally it's on a Monday, but every now and then things happen, but yeah.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, Brewer Master Simulator just doesn't come out.
Oh, and thank you, Story, because as always, disclaimer: all release dates are subject to change. So just remember that.
That's not true.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the actual news now. How about that, fellas?
Okay.
There's one thing in this news article that really just boils my fucking blood.
This one we're about to roll into?
No, it's the last one. No, it's the second one.
Okay, all right.
Hi, buddy.
The second one.
Sony news.
Okay, so we can go ahead and roll into our first news topic for tonight. And believe it or not, if I told you that a Horizon Zero Dawn remaster was possibly in development, you guys would probably start getting ready to fight me. But unfortunately, that's what we're looking at here, because sources over at mpfirst.com as well as VGC started corroborating rumors that Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster is possibly in development. Guys, how do we want to attack this one?
All right, so I actually have thoughts on this that goes against everything the internet is saying.
Please share it. Share it.
Okay, so Horizon's engine has been upgraded significantly since this game came out, right? Like it's the Horizon Forbidden West is running on the same engine, it's just upgraded, right? And so is Death Stranding, and I think there's one other project that's using it. I think Kojima's next project is using it actually. So
yeah,
I mean, my thought when I saw this was, okay, well, what they're probably going to do is lift the first game from that version of the engine and move it over to the updated version of their engine. Because
we're talking about the Decima engine.
Yeah, the Decima
right?
engine.
Yeah.
I almost said the decimal engine, but I knew that wasn't right, so I just kind of left it generic. They're gonna move that first game from that version of the Decima engine to the current version, which, if Decima works the way that Unreal does for the most part, of course there's going to have to be work going into it to make sure the game didn't break in any way or textures don't warp or anything. But like overall, the game should just move easily over. The transition should be smooth, and so you'll get the new lighting effects, the frame rate upgrades, the texture upgrades, the probably the foliage and metal textures and stuff. That should all just happen. Of course they'll probably have a small team of artists go in there and clean stuff up, some engineers to make sure that things aren't broken and the coding works correctly on the new engine, but they're not going to spend 5 years remaking a game that's 5 years old. That's stupid. I think even Sony knows that, right? So
I hope so.
Yeah. So I mean, I know The Last of Us just got remade, and maybe that's a little bit of a different story. I know there's a lot of drama behind the scenes about who was developing it and then Naughty Dog taking over it, whatever. This, I think, is just, they're just moving it to the updated version of the engine. They're going to clean it up, because if I was Sony, I would want to put the best versions of our games out. whether they're 10 years old, 15 years old, 5 years old. And if there's an easier way to make those upgrades without having to spend 4 or 5 years remaking it, then I'm going to do it. I would take a year to move the first Horizon game to the updated engine to make it look pretty. Now, whether or not,
especially if it's not the main, especially if it's not the main team that's doing it, you know, if they, because you know, like, I'm glad you said that, because like, you know, Sony has been snapping up like studios and stuff, just like Microsoft has. They're not snapping them up with the same scope that Microsoft has, but they are picking some pretty good development teams and stuff like that. So, you know, like, hell, like, you know, like, if Guerrilla is focusing on like their next big IP and stuff like that, and they have these other teams that are just sitting around like waiting for a project and stuff like that, why not let them have a go at like doing the remakes and re-releases and stuff like that? I know we're getting to a point now in the gaming cycle where remakes and re-releases, you know, are starting to sound like a dirty word, you know. I'm not sure who threw the first brick or stone or whatever, you know. A lot of people say it's Nintendo, you know, but you know,
yeah. How many people does Guerrilla employ? About, I would say maybe 300. I would say probably.
I think you're right. I think so.
I bet you could take a small team of about 20 people and do this correctly in about a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not taking any resources away from, you know, whatever this third game will probably be, whatever this multiplayer game that's rumored to be, right? That's not going to take any resources away from those, right? And so you'll have a prettier game to put out. Maybe you charge that $10 upgrade, maybe you charge $70. I don't know that part of it, but like, this is a game that I think deserves to look its best, even though it's already a beautiful game.
Yeah.
And if I can make it look even better at minimal cost, I would totally use 20 people to do this. So that's my take. Again, Sony could spend $200 million and just remake the entire game. I have no idea, but that was my initial thought when I saw this before I saw all the internet kind of cry about it.
Well, yeah, you know, the internet is just it's just a weird, and it's Plus, it's like the Wild West sometimes.
Yeah. Plus like you could like plus you could even have an outsourced team do it. Like, I know Sony has teams that like do this type of stuff, like asset creation and engine modifications that don't have anything to do with the studios themselves.
Like,
right?
Didn't they have a completely outside team like do the port of God of War 3 to PS4?
Yeah, I forget what team did that. It might have been like an ex-dev team internally at Santa Monica. I'm not 100% sure. But they have teams that do this, right? That's one of the teams that actually started The Last of Us remake, if you remember, and then Naughty Dog took it in-house and people left, and you know, now I think they're working on that game Ashfall with the devs that left Sony Bend. Yeah. So, you know, they do have people to do this if they don't want to do it internally, but I think Herman Hulst has kind of been running a tight ship over there and putting their best foot forward, even if fans think it might be the wrong decision at first glance. But I don't know. I think that this remake is less expensive than you might think.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary.
Well, I don't think it's necessary either, but I'm just saying.
I don't think it's necessary either. I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn stands pretty well on its own. But you know, there's a possibility that, you know, like, because it just now came to me while Corey was talking. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the first games that Sony brought over to the PC side. And you know, like, with the stuff that modders are able to do with the game and things like that, and of course, like the hardware bump, you know, from being on the PC side and stuff like that, you know, like, I guarantee you there were probably a sizable segment of the PlayStation population that were probably a little envious about the fact that, you know, like, all these graphical upgrades happen, you know, because the Ryzen 5, I can't remember which CPU it was that launched, but they launched that, and Horizon launched at the same time. So they were giving AMD was giving out free copies of Horizon to people who bought the newest CPU and stuff like that. And there was a stark difference, you know, night and day, you know, between it. And I know, like, you know, like, PlayStation owners, there was some that had envy, behind that and stuff like that. So I think this is, I want to say it's like a community service effort for Sony. I mean, yeah, Sony's still going to make money off of it. Don't get me wrong. It's a community service effort. To try and like get everything synced up on the same level. Stuff like that. But I guess at the end of the day, like you got to realize like whether you had the base PS4 model versus PS4 Pro, whether you have a PC that's rocking a 1070 a GeForce 1070 versus RTX 3090 and stuff like that. Like there's always going to be some type of disparity between like graphical and performance performances of games and stuff like that. So my whole take is kudos to Sony. If this is if what Corey's saying is the approach that Sony's actually doing, kudos to Sony, because yeah, I agree. Like like these companies do want to put their best foot forward. Like if the assets are already out and available and stuff like that, why not do it? Like it's. But also, I can also appreciate what Stoy's saying.
I didn't say anything. Necessary. I said 2 words, and you guys started talking.
You said it's not necessary.
Yeah, and I wanted to expand on my thought on that, but I'll wait.
Oh, my bad. I thought no. I was done. I was done actually. Go ahead.
Okay. The only reason why I said it's not necessary is that it's not that old to begin with. I can understand, maybe cleaning up the graphics a little bit, kind of what they did with the PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. They took a lot of the kind of like later games and up-res them to be like 60 frames a second, 1080p, which a lot of games in the PS3 life cycle for sure like weren't 1080p. They were 720, I mean. But yeah, so I can understand that, maybe like kind of like upgrading it to be like maybe more like true 4K. I could totally get behind that, because that doesn't require, a team of like 20 people to do it. I wouldn't think, maybe that would take like 5 or 6 people. But the problem that you get with this too is that where does that stop? Do you start like kind of going through a lot of the major back catalogs of, the PlayStation 4 and then saying like, well, this needs to get upgraded now and that needs to get upgraded now. I kind of like what they did with God of War though, and they just up-resed it to make it run better on the PlayStation 5, and that's it. And that game looks fine on its own. It doesn't need anything else done to it. So I think you kind of need to appreciate the art behind like, hey, it was a product of its time and it looked amazing at that time. Let's just leave it be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andre, do you have anything?
Kind of what like Stoy said. Just like I get that like it's because I did love that game, so I'm just trying to like play devil's advocate, but still, I enjoyed the game a lot. I think I platinumed that game. Actually, it was graphically, it was beautiful, it was great.
Agreed.
I just don't know if it needs a remaster. I get that some people might want that, and I do kind of agree with Corey that like it would look really, really, really good, but it like Stoy said, like it's not super old, and like we just got the sequel, so it's like, do we really need the remaster of the first one?
Mm-hmm. And
that's
it's like,
kind of like my take.
And it's like, do you really want? Because this is my. I don't want to say it's an issue, but this is my like, as somebody who is just looking at this from the outside. Like, if they remade The Last of Us Part 1, does it look better than The Last of Us Part 2? Like,
I think they did almost like they did like a complete top down.
Yeah.
Not like a full on remake, but
if you put The Last of Us Remastered beside The Last of Us 2, that's a hard argument.
Okay, I'll be honest with you, because I've watched like quite a few of the videos and stuff like that. The Last of Us Part 1 looks like a PS5 game. It looks like a PS5 game. So just put that in perspective when we think about The Last of Us Part 2 still being a PS4 game. It has not gotten any graphical updates or anything for PS5 yet.
Yeah. So like my thing is like it would really bother me if that first game looked better than the second game, just from like a continuity standpoint almost.
Yeah.
But that's a me thing. That's not like You know,
that's where you can kind of get to the problem.
I get what you're saying, but we already know what's going to happen. The Last of Us Part 2 is going to get its remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll sell it as a package, and
yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
we need to get away from this. I mean, we need to get away from this, and you know, it's just a cash grab at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping that you know, like what fans are saying. Fans are basically saying that gaming, you know, is mirroring Hollywood, and the fact that there's a loss of originality and creativity and stuff like that. I feel like I feel like, huh?
No, never.
Yeah, you know, I like the excitement. You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those people when it comes to Hollywood and stuff like that. I appreciate, like, if reboots and remasters are done, you know, in a particular way, I really appreciate them. You know, I do. You know, because there's some things, you know, like it was just hokey enough that you know, like there was a good skeleton there and it just needed an overhaul and stuff like that. And you know, like that reboot, that remake or whatever comes out, and yeah, like it basically think of the original Battlestar Galactica versus the 2004 Battlestar Galactica series, and you kind of get an idea of what I'm saying. You know, as far as that, you know, sometimes this stuff helps, you know, stuff like that. So when I hear about these games and stuff like that, I do think, you know, like I was really excited for the Prince of Persia remake. You know, I don't even know what the hell's going on with that game now. You know,
I think it's a hard restart with that one. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm pretty sure they literally threw everything out and went back to the drawing board.
Yeah, as much as I love the original Tomb Raider games, like that's the reboot was probably the best thing that could have happened to Lara Croft.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
that
that completely changed her whole dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that trilogy though is so good.
Yeah,
100%. Underrated.
Oh, for real, yeah, for real. Yeah, but that's, you know, so I'm hoping that, you know, I think Sony knows what they're doing, but I hope they know what they're doing with this, because like this could literally shoot them in the foot and stuff like that. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this topic up, because I feel like we're going to take all the air out the room if we keep talking about it.
Probably.
We're going to go. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next topic, and so there's a lot of news about what's going on PlayStation Plus and Xbox Games of Gold right now. So let's hop into the October 2022 announcements for Games of Gold and PlayStation Plus. Racing games, fighting games, and shooting games, all for PlayStation Plus subscribers that are out today, October the 4th. Your lineup for the October 2022 PlayStation Plus Essential games go. Hot Wheels Unleashed for PS5 and PS4. In Hot Wheels Unleashed, collect, build, and race in this fantastic arcade sim based on the Hot Wheels universe. Earn new vehicles and then take them to the track to race side by side with friends in two-player split screen, or face up to 12 opponents in online challenges. Once you've raced, why not try and build your own course? Create amazing layouts inside and outside the track editor. Add loops, special boosters, obstacles, and special elements to make an incredible amusement park for your races. Then share your creation online for others to try out.
We've also got, as a child. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You know how, as a child, you would get all your tracks together and make a giant track and have like all your cars on the track? This is what that game is.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
This is literally the adult version of that. Just kind of paint a picture. This is the adult version of that.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Injustice 2, the PS4 version. From the creators of Mortal Kombat, you return to the DC universe with the biggest superhuman roster so far to date. Select from twisted versions of iconic heroes and supervillains and bring the epic scale battles to awe-inspiring locations across the globe. Take on other players locally and online, or immerse yourself in the story-driven single-player campaign as Batman struggles against Superman's regime. You'll earn gear after every match to equip, customize, and evolve your roster. The story mode of Injustice 2 alone is worth playing this game. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Even if you don't like fighting games, this is a fun as hell experience right there. So don't miss out on it. And then lastly, we have Super Hot, the PS4 version, also available for PlayStation Plus Essential. I know for sure I'm not going to do this description much justice. So like this is probably the crossroads pick of the month as far as like PlayStation Plus goes. So in Super Hot, you're blurring the lines between cautious strategy and unbridled mayhem. Super Hot is the first-person shooter in which time moves only when you move. No regenerating health bars, no conveniently placed ammo drops. It's just you, outnumbered and outgunned, grabbing the weapons of fallen enemies to shoot, slice, and maneuver through a hurricane of slow motion bullets. Super Hot's polished, minimalistic visual language helps you to concentrate on the most important, which is the fluidity. I got tongue tied. The fluidity of gameplay and the cinematic beauty of the fight. So there you have it. The PlayStation Plus
trailer.
The VR game is the VR version of this is really the only way to play it.
I can imagine in VR this would be insane.
It's kind of different because in the regular game it's a first person shooter, but in VR you're literally stationary and you're playing it like you're in the Matrix, like dodging bullets and stuff. Like, dude, it is, man. It's probably still to this day one of the best VR experiences I've ever played. And that was one of the first VR games I picked up.
Oh wow! So that was an experience
set the
for you.
bar high.
Oh, it really did. It set the bar high, and it stayed there. It stayed there. I would say the only other VR game that has come close has been a Pistol Whip. That's a really fun game.
I heard of that game, but I don't know anything about it though.
That game will make you sweat. Like no lie.
All right, so subscribers
or no cap, as the kids say.
No cap.
No cap.
Bet.
No cap.
PlayStation Plus Essential, Extra, and Premium subscribers can add these 3 titles to their game library starting now, October the 4th, and going through until the 31st of October. Stay tuned for more news on the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium game catalog lineup for October, as that will be announced later on this month. And remember, once they go away, as long as you're still subscribed to PlayStation Plus, you will still be able to completely play these games. So there's that. Now, on the flip side, Microsoft has officially announced the new Xbox Games of Gold titles for October 2022. These titles are available to download for free for Xbox Live Gold members, including subscribers to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Keep in mind that as of this month, Microsoft will no longer be including Xbox 360 games as part of the Games of Gold lineup. So you're getting a limited
lucky
selection.
We got it this long, honestly.
All right. First out the gate is Windbound, which is available from October 1st to the 31st. In this game, you are washed up on an uncharted island where you must use your will and skill to survive. Play as Kara, shipwrecked on the Forbidden Islands with nothing but what you build or find. You'll need to craft weapons and tools to survive, and you will spend time building a new boat, which you can use in an immersive, tactile sailing experience to reach other islands. Explore the hidden history of each island to unlock their mysteries. Enjoy this delightfully surprising game that takes the survival game in a totally new direction. Survival genre in a totally new direction. And then available from October 16th to November 15th, we have Bomber Crew, the Deluxe Edition. You're recruited to take on extremely high-risk missions in this World War II strategic flying and bombing game. Once you're up in the air, danger is everywhere. It's up to you to manage the fuel, ammo, and hydraulics while trying to avoid enemy gunners. Even weather can bring you down. Of course it can. Keep your crew safe and focused and bring home the victory. Bomber Crew Deluxe Edition includes the original Bomber Crew game plus the secret weapons and United States of America Air Force DLC. So there's plenty of flying to be done. There you have it. Out of all these games you talked about, which of these games have you guys' attention out there? Corey, which one?
I mean, I played Windbound, and that game is super cool. I actually like a lot of these games that are available for free on these consoles. Like Injustice 2 is awesome. Super Hot's awesome. Windbound is awesome. Bomber Crew, maybe not.
Is it me or is this like an actual really good selection for Games of Gold? I feel like Games of Gold is always like the
it's because they want
dog.
you to. It's because they want you to go to Game Pass, right? Plus, like Xbox stopped doing 360 and original Xbox games for their Games with Gold, and are only doing Xbox One and newer now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think the quality is going to be better because you're not paying for 4 mediocre games. You're paying for 2 decent to good games at this point. But I still think Microsoft just wants to push you to Game Pass. That's I mean, Windbound is good, but it's no Super Hot or Injustice or Hot Wheels, right? So
yeah, that's what I think about the Xbox games. These aren't really anything good to write home about.
No.
I mean, Windbound is probably the best game they've had on Games with Gold for like the last 2 years, and that's being nice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. All right. Cool. You guys got anything to add on this?
Nope.
Nope.
Sir.
All right.
So Injustice has the Ninja Turtles if you buy the DLC. So I don't know.
True.
You play as all 4 of them at the same time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
you swap with them on the fly.
No shit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And they eat pizza.
And honestly, the story in this game is actually probably one of the better like DC stories,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. NetherRealm does good stories for their fighting games.
They do. Like they I want to say like it all started with what, Mortal Kombat 9?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say I think they really started the whole like kind of fighting game as a campaign, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas, we're going to move on to our actually this is our no. I got caught up there. I'm sorry. We're gonna move on to our next news topic. All right.
The first sentence annoys me.
Oh well, you know what? Hold on. Let me set it up.
The first sentence just annoys me.
All right. In this bit of PlayStation news, just know that Herman Hulst and Jim Ryan had some things to say in some recent interviews with a whole bunch of news for Sony coming up. So, Andre, if you'd like, I will let you handle this one.
Sony will continue to make PS4 games moving forward. Yes, you heard that correctly. Sony will not abandon the PS4. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, oh!
But they believe in generations.
Let that die. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, let it go.
Let it die. As Kylo Ren
need to
said,
move forward.
Let it go.
Yeah.
There haven't been. What are the PS5 exclusive games? Ratchet and Clank and Returnal? Are those the only 2?
Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo, and I think that's...
Yeah, because Deathloop is on Xbox now.
No, I meant like not on PS4.
Yeah, Deathloop, I suppose. Deathloop isn't on PS4, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember who said it in here, but someone said the PS4 needs to die so the PS5 can be a lot better. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yeah. I remember someone saying it, and this is exactly why the PS4 has to die.
Did the Demon's Souls remake wind up on PS4?
Yeah, that's a PS5 exclusive. Yeah, Demon's Souls, Destruction All Stars, Ratchet and Clank, Returnal.
Is there a PS4 version of Death Stranding?
Yeah, that's where it came out first, I think.
Yeah, it came out first. Yeah,
it came out first on PS. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. So anyway,
but like
that's it, man. That's it. There's nothing else that is like exclusive. Like, oh my god.
So
that's
the remastered Spider-Man games.
They're handicapped themselves. That's the problem. But that's the thing. They all came out on the PS4 before. Like, they're handicapping themselves. They're kind of almost like limiting graphically what they could push with the hardware.
Yes.
You have this immense amount of hardware, and you're not fully dedicating the development to utilizing it to the best of your ability, because you're like, well, we have to make this playable, but not extremely different for PlayStation 4 owners.
I feel like they're just throwing some red meat out, like we say in the politics world. I feel like you're just throwing some red meat out to the base, because like if Sony is not abandoning PS4, How come they're no longer giving numbers for PS4 sales?
Because you can't find new systems anywhere.
Because they're so low that like the number is negligible. I think they sold like 1,000 consoles last year, like the last quarter of last year or something.
Why even like this is I don't get, because like they have what I can see them doing, which I think is a stupid move, clip it if you want, hot take, is they will take a whole bunch of PS4 games that people love and just remaster them for the PS5. Why?
They've already started.
They've already started that.
My point is just why? You could use all of that resource and money and power to make better, more games for the PS5. And it blows me away that
well, there's another thing we're not looking at.
Let the man finish.
Sorry. Did you want me to read like the whole thing, or are we just like
No. What you've done is great. Like cool. I'll hit the bullet points in a second. But no, finish your thought though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like as Corey said, they say group president Jim Ryan ruffled feathers a few years ago by declaring that his company believes in generations. Yeah, I get that. Where's the PS Vita then? Where's that?
I want the PS Vita.
That was before Jim Ryan's time.
Oh, okay, but still, it's just like, why do you need to have this system operate? I don't understand. Like,
you know what? I think I understand what's going on here, because Stoy and I, like, we're PS5 owners, and our frustration is the fact that they keep doing this. They're completely hamstringing, like the potential of the PS5. That's for real. But at the same time, I can also understand, like I said, COVID really fucked some shit up particularly for Sony.
We can't use that excuse anymore. We can't.
We can and we can't. We can't. The reason why I'm saying this is because there was literal words out there that Sony was planning to let the PS4 go within 18 months of the PS5 being released.
I heard that too.
They were planning to go cold turkey on the PS4 because in their own philosophy, the PS3 lived for 5 years into the PS4's run. And that really hurt not maybe more than a couple of things, but so Sony had this plan to basically like send the PS4 out to pasture after the PS5 launched. But because of COVID and because of all the nonsense that went on, the fact that we had to think about the fact that we had wankers sitting with hundreds of PlayStations in their garage and stuff, scalping the shit out of them, for other people and stuff like that. It really caused like a destabilization in that economy to the point where people had to resort to the PS4. Like, honestly, my PS4 would still be in use if I hadn't gotten a PS5 when I did. And stuff like that. Let's be honest. But so I understand. It hurt Sony. It hurt Sony in a way that Sony had to figure out, like, hey, we gotta fix something. We gotta do something, stuff like that. And then the fact that you have consumers saying they cannot still find a PS5, which is kind of crazy because I finally saw a PS5 sitting on a shelf.
Wow!
I saw it a week ago, and I thought about taking a picture of it, but I was like, I'm not going to be that guy that gets caught up in Target taking a picture of a PlayStation.
You get absolutely so fast.
But yeah, there's still people who are out there could not get a system like Corey's
they're not trying.
Corey's been trying. Corey has been trying.
Well, the thing is like
the story's like, well, sorry, Corey.
No, the thing is like I already bought one through my PlayStation account for somebody, and now Sony won't let me buy one because I already bought it through there. So like I can't buy it through Sony.
Yeah.
So,
but like you could have still like if they would have let you, you would have still been able to buy one. So therefore, like you can find them. It's just
if you like look for that like the PlayStation Direct timer thing, if you get on, like they're in stock for like hours on end now.
Yeah, like you can find them. Like go to your local like GameStop and just be like, hey, I'm looking for a PS5. Do you have a time frame when they might pop in?
And they usually announce like a day or two before GameStop does, like, oh, we're gonna have them in store.
Be on like your local GameStop's like email thing, and then like you get like the night or the day before, hey, PS5's in the stock, right? Like I personally, that's how I kind of got my PS5. Is I'm super close friends with like a lot of the people there, and I just befriended them over the years, and eventually it was like, hey man, like we're gonna be getting some PS5s in stocks. Okay, cool, right? Join the emailing thing, etc. Like there are ways to get one. If you haven't found one, that like Soy said, like you're just not looking. You're just hoping like you'll open up your door and there'll be a PS5 on your doorstep. Like you have to actively go to Best Buy stores and be like, hey, do you have one? No, cool, thank you. Do you have one?
They release them on particular days.
Yeah, and by the way, stop trying to order one online. Like that's the wrong. If the last 2 years have told you anything about online shopping culture, that's not it. Don't do that anymore. Just do a little due diligence. Just get on the phone, call some people, like say, hey, do you have this in stock right now? And you know what? And you might be able to sweet talk or massage somebody and just saying, hey, can you hold on to it for an hour while I get there? Stuff like that.
Right?
Stuff like that.
On your way home, if you pass by a GameStop or Best Buy, pop in there on a random day. I bet you one of those days you might find one. Like Laurent said, he found one on a shelf. That could have been you, right? So.
Yeah, I found one on a shelf. The only console I'm actively looking for right now is an Xbox 360, and I've seen two. I'm not 360. I'm sorry, Xbox Series X. My bad.
Oh man, I see those all the time.
I was looking at something for on Xbox 360, and I said that.
Homie,
that's the only console. That's the only console I'm looking for right now. Like every time one's been on the shelf, it's just not been the right time for me to buy it. Yeah, because I'm one of those people. I really have to put thought into like if I'm spending more than $250 on something. Like I have to think about that sometimes. It's not because I'm broke. It's just because like I can always use that money.
That's where you start thinking. Is that $250? Holy cow! If it's $200, you're like, yeah, fuck it, sure.
Well, no.
Okay, I was like, whoa, Ron.
No. Here's my Murphy's Law for me. Like normally when I spend an amount higher than $200, that's usually when more than $200 expense comes up, and then I'm sitting there thinking like, shit, I shouldn't have bought that, because now like I'm, it's not even like I'd be put into a bind, but it's the fact that I just double spent the money, on one thing that technically I didn't really need at that point. But a necessity came up where I needed it, stuff like that. So that's one of those things. And I've been like this since I got out of the military, it's always been a thing where I think about like, I put thought into it. Like, like it took me a while to buy my Nintendo Switch, it took me a while,
my friend told me something that might kind of relate to what you're saying. He's like, if you have something you want and you've been thinking about it for a long time, put it off to the side for a bit, and if after a few days you're still thinking about it, then clearly you want it that bad. But if like it goes away, then it's like, then you didn't really want it.
I'm kind of weirdo because I still want an OLED Switch, but I know better. There's nothing wrong with my Switch right now.
I'd
wait. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Wait.
Yeah. But just to wrap up,
you need an OLED Switch for is if you like to play it on the go all the time. I mean, if you play, I mostly play my Switch on the TV, and that's why I don't need it.
I just want it because it's white. That's all.
For me, oh god, here we
It's the exact opposite reason. For me, I don't like white systems.
See, for me, an OLED would be perfect because I always play mine before work, or say if I'm like out at like the mall, if I'm doing like a photo shoot, I'll just be sitting there playing my Switch. So for me, it'd be perfect because I still have my old one.
Yeah, but okay, but just basically to wrap this up real quickly. Also in the interview with Axios, Holst also noted that most of Sony's live games haven't been announced yet and are still in deep development. So just think about the games coming up from Haven Studio and Firewalk, and just think about that stuff. You've also got the promise that blockbuster single player narrative games from Sony are not going anywhere anytime soon. As a matter of fact, those single player games that like people are always talking shit about are one of the main sellers and the best sellers on PlayStation consoles overall. And Sony is definitely actively courting the PC and mobile markets. So expect to see more PlayStation titles coming up. And speaking of PS5 titles coming to PC, like there's probably going to be a 1 year gap between those and stuff like that. So like Returnal is going to be the first one. There's more and more stuff that's proving that Returnal is coming to PC. So there you go. We're going to go ahead and just move right on to our final topic because guys, that Dead Space gameplay trailer. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this right now.
It was spooky.
There's two horror gaming moments that have stuck to me ever since I started playing games. The first one is when you play Resident Evil, the first one in the mansion, and you walk up to the zombie eating one of your partners, and he turns around and looks over your shoulder, and he just like cold dead face.
Mm-hmm.
Ingrained. The second one is when you're on the Ishimura, and the first time you encounter one of the creatures in Dead Space, it was fucking terrifying. Because they're just and you're just like, holy shit, what is that?
Which first encounter are you talking about? You're not talking about when they ambush. You're not talking about when they ambush everybody in that first room.
No,
right?
like when you leave the ship, you get your gun and you're walking through the hallways, and the first time you legit fight one that like it comes down from the roof, it's like and it's just coming at you, and you're like, oh my god. That for me, I was like, oh god, this is it. This is how I go out.
Nah,
right from the start.
For me, it was a tentacle grabbing you for that first time.
Oh
when you come back from the 0G thing and like you're walking back to this hall that you cleared out, and that giant tentacle comes and grabs you and starts dragging you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So fans of the Dead Space franchise have waited patiently since the initial announcement of the remake for this gameplay trailer. There was a lot of hope packed into the hands of the developers since part of the process was obtaining and utilizing feedback from gamers to ensure the integrity of the remake. By the way, these are Stephanie Klimov's words because this came straight from her article that was launched today on bossrush.net. So links have been provided in the stream chat. Check it out. All that hard work has come to roost, and a new gameplay trailer was released today. Guys, I've watched this trailer so many times. I have. Because I'm a Dead Space fan. I am. I'm a Dead Space fan, and when I heard this remake was coming, it just like I said, it made my day. It made my day today to see this.
Watching the trailer actually made me think. Do you guys remember in the second one when you have to go back to the Ishimura and he has all the PTSD? That shit was scary.
That was really good.
I felt everything Isaac was feeling because Dead Space was the first survival horror game that I picked up after saying I was no longer playing survival horror games. I hadn't played a real survival horror game in over 6 years by the time Dead Space 1 came out and stuff like that. So it was one of those experiences for me, and and I've learned that I play survival horror games differently than I play almost any other game because while I still like to explore and like go in every nook and cranny to find everything, at the same time it's like I can't be moving all fast.
No, you do a lot of walking, and then when you see something, you just sprint.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I cannot stand doing, and it doesn't matter if I'm playing a survival horror game or if I'm playing a regular video game. I hate dying in video games. I really do. So it actually looks like I'm actually doing this in real life. Like where like you're fearing for your life and all this stuff because you don't want to die and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I play survival horror games and stuff like that. So it takes me a long time to beat a game on the first run, and Dead Space definitely scared the hell out of me. Like I would play this game after work at night, though I would not play with headphones
because that's
on.
the only appropriate time to play a survival horror game.
Yeah. But one thing's for sure, like I thoroughly enjoyed Dead Space to the point where like I got to the point where I was speedrunning Dead Space 1, and I was playing with just literally one gun. I was not switching weapons and all that stuff.
You could beat the whole entirety of the first game with just the plasma cutter.
You
don't need.
No, they made a trophy. They made a trophy for that.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, the plasma cutter. No.
What?
No.
Oh,
actually, okay. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Like you play the game, because you get a new game plus mode. So you play the game, and you start just sinking power nodes that you get into the plasma cutter. When you beat the game, you probably haven't gotten the plasma color fully all the way kitted out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you play the game again in New Game Plus. All your stuff comes over with you and stuff like that. And then you start playing with the plasma cutter, and you don't have to play on a harder difficulty setting. You can play on whatever difficulty setting you're playing at, or you can play on the lower difficulty setting. It doesn't matter. Start throwing all your power nodes into the plasma cutter. You wind up with an OP weapon by the time you get halfway through your second run of the game.
Oh, okay.
Well,
is that what you do Soy too?
Or no, you just literally dump all your points into the plasma cutter right as you start playing it. Don't put any experience points in anything else. That's how I did it.
Well, okay, yeah, Stoy's a little hardcore because you probably weren't putting power nodes into your rig or your stasis or your kinesis.
Nope. Plasma cutter first.
Plasma
cutter first to get that beefed up as quickly as possible. Then the rest of the time, I beefed up my kinesis and my armor and everything else. But plasma cutter, man, like I said, if you get that beefed up right away, that makes certain enemies like super easy to kill right from the start.
Because I mean, it will literally like go rip straight to things like butter, like it will, like it because like the super necromorphs, like the ones that are all black and like move really fast and stuff like that. Like the plasma cutter will lop limbs off in like one shot on those guys.
Crazy. I think it's when in Dead Space when you learn to like shoot off a limb, kinesis it, and then shoot it back. Yeah, that was like it was game over for everything. I was like, I am Jesus now. I am not dying today. There's so many tips and tricks to like freaking Dead Space. But real fast. So Dead Space is set to release on January 27th of next year on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Thank you for being a next gen release. Thank you. Well, a current gen release. Let me put it that. A current gen release.
Current gen.
Also,
keep in mind.
Sorry, go on.
No, I just said keep in mind. That's it.
Oh, I was just gonna point out. It says the price for this collector's edition in the U.S. is the same as Canada. I just want to point that out for anyone.
Really?
Yeah, I checked it. It's the same price.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Limited Run has also announced a collector's edition for Dead Space, the remake. And the price starts at $274.99 US. Andre just confirmed that it is the same price in Canadian dollars. So
just checked.
There you go. Pre-orders are available now on Limited Run's website right now. Go straight to it. This is just the PS5 edition. So sorry, Xbox and PC owners. I'm actually getting it for PC. But I wasn't planning on getting the collector's edition. But just in case you're wondering what's in the collector's edition, you're going to get a physical copy of Dead Space for the PS5, as well as the collector's box, which includes Isaac's helmet, which is a full-size wearable helmet with working lights.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
Yeah.
Because I still got burnt after Dead Space 2 after they give you the plasma cutter.
The replica plasma cutter.
It's like this big.
Yeah, I know. It was tiny.
It's that big.
Yeah.
You know what? Next week's show, I'll find it. It's one of my boxes. I'll find it and I'll pull it out and have it ready.
I was hoping you'd have like a full blown like plasma cutter.
That's why I pre-ordered it. That's why I pre-ordered that version.
Oh, lame sauce.
Yeah, you'll also get the Dead Space soundtrack CD, a lithograph print, full stamp lithograph folio, 4 mini posters for the game, an Ishimura patch. That's kind of cool. That's kind of badass.
I want the pin.
A marker enamel pin. The metal 4 marker statue. Metallic 4-inch marker statue, and a Dead Space steel book.
I honestly don't know if I'd have the 4-inch marker statue on my desk because that would just feel weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I just get like weird vibes.
You freaking unitologist.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't know if I trust this thing.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice? I don't know if you guys noticed that Isaac Clarke has a voice in this game.
Yes,
he did, and yes. I'm like, was
Gunnar
I
Wright
crazy,
has returned,
or did he never have one?
As a matter of fact, Gunnar Wright, who's the voice actor for Isaac in Dead Space 2 and 3, and I cannot remember her name, but the actress that played Nicole, like they are both back to reprise their roles.
That's really interesting because I remember I was watching it and I was like, did he?
He's talking.
Yeah, I'm like, he talked in the first one. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm stoked for that because you know me, I hate silent protagonists. So
yeah, now
I'm glad they changed that midway through the trilogy. So
Now the one thing I'm wondering, you know how like you can just repeatedly like jam on the curb stomp button,
Oh,
Hell yeah.
and like
I curb
and in
stomped
Dead Space,
anything
and
that
in,
was on the ground.
and in
Just
Dead
make
Space
sure.
2, he was just
Yeah.
like cursing and I wonder if he does that in Dead Space 1 or if he's not completely traumatized, through Dead Space 1 to go through what he did in Dead Space 2 and 3. I'm curious.
Anybody that was on the ground, I would curb stomp the shit out of it like 4 times.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you're a badass because no, I shoot them.
I don't waste ammo.
Oh yeah, you don't waste ammo, bro.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, pro tip. You have the force gun. Any dead bodies on the ground, just blast it with the force gun. It completely
Or
dismembers
just
them.
stomp on them.
No, because you walk up to stomp on one and it's an actual necromorph. Guess what? You just got slashed.
Well, if you like kinesis fast enough, fastest kinesis in the West.
Wait, why am I wasting kinesis on that? I need to waste kinesis on a real enemy.
I can see your point.
One that's coming at me, like those, like the screechers, the ones that jump from wall to wall and like fly at you.
Oh
yeah.
God. Okay, no. Dead Space 2, when you're at the fucking museum and those things that charge at you and scream.
The lurkers. Yeah, the lurkers.
Listen, those things put me through a blender. I remember the first time I walked in a room and all of a sudden I just heard, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
See,
and then it charged me. I panicked. I paused the game. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Wait, did you play Dead Space 3, Andre?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
So remember how you got like 2/3 of the way through the game, and then you finally started hearing the noises for those guys? It's like, wait, they're in the game?
Listen, yeah, homie, there was times in 3 where I'm like, hold on, is that me or that game?
All right. So I think we gushed enough about it. But basically, all you need to know is Dead Space, the remake, has been rebuilt from the ground up using the Frostbite engine. And you guys, like, if you're anything like the 3 out of the 4 of us here, like, definitely, I think we need to work on Corey to see and try and get him to play this game. Like, I know Corey gets traumatized by these games. He doesn't really like scary games.
I would love for you to stream it. Can you please just stream it?
Nope.
Speaking of
I will buy this game for you. I will buy this game for you if you stream it.
I'll go half in.
That is legit.
Hey, we were all pitching. We will all
if you stream it.
Andre, Canadian money doesn't count here. Okay, it just doesn't work.
We'll make it count. We'll make it count. Don't worry.
We're not gonna start.
Our money doesn't come with a fake game board and
mine smells like maple syrup. Okay.
I mean, it does.
Tasty.
All right. Well, the only thing else I have to add to this is I'm going to begin streaming the Dead Space trilogy this month. Some things have come up. I've already play tested to make sure that like nothing's wrong with the stream and stuff like that. So I'm ready to go. So just be on the lookout. Just be on the lookout for notifications from me. I will be streaming it on my YouTube channel. No Twitch this year. Yeah, all 3 games, and one of these guys here in this panel will be playing Dead Space 3 co-op with me. I'm not sure who it is yet. I don't know.
So have you ever played the co-op of 3?
Absolutely.
I haven't, so I will go.
So the funny thing about the co-op is that each of your characters sees different things in random moments.
Yeah.
And that freaked the fuck out of me. Like when I first noticed that. So there was
just standing there and you're playing Isaac and you're watching Carver actually shooting stuff and there's nothing in the room.
Yo, that's creepy.
Yeah, and the other guy is having the other guy that's with the controller is having a full-on experience.
Yo,
that was one of the coolest things I can say about Dead Space 3. I actually like Dead Space 3. I wasn't really one of those people that shit on it. Yeah, there were some things that like they could have done better, stuff like that.
I liked it.
I enjoyed Dead Space 3.
2's the best one.
Yeah, because in my opinion, Dead Space 3 did the most story exposition. If we're gonna be honest with you, like it started really fleshing out like what the hell was going on in this universe, and stuff like that, and that's something I appreciate, but yeah, like I can't wait. Now, like I said, one of these guys will be with me. I guess Andre, you'll be with me on the ride.
I would love to experience that game co-op because I never did.
So here's the thing, and I know this is gonna sound really stingy, but for the first playthrough, I want to be Isaac, you be Carver, and then for the second playthrough, because it'll still be streaming.
Yeah.
Because I want other people to see like the Carver side of the experience.
Okay,
I'll play as Carver and you play as Isaac.
Deal. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and also there are also some mandatory missions you can only do co-op in that game. Like
Okay, cool. Okay.
One character cannot enter there by themselves. It's mandatory co-op and stuff like that. Now,
let
and
me
those
know
are the
when,
ones.
And then I will.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Get the game for sure.
All right. So we've got a question from the audience. So I'm going to go ahead and just break straight into that. And tonight's question comes to us from. Actually, let me set it up first. All right. So our question for tonight is, hey, what Nintendo game or franchise would benefit either graphically in graphics and performance from a PlayStation release?
All of them.
I think the Xenoblade games and Breath of the Wild. This comes to us from @JMartinez064 on Twitter, which is better known as Josh Martinez, a fellow contributor here at the Boss Rush Network. Corey just said it. He just laid it out there.
No, okay, so
Corey just flopped it out, eh?
No, yeah, I did right there on the table. No, I mean, so here's the thing. Ed and I talked about this like a month ago on Expansion Pass about what if Nintendo had a console that was at parity with the current consoles. And the one game that always comes back to me is, it's not even a game, it was the Legend of Zelda tech demo for Wii U. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's the most breathtaking thing I think Nintendo has ever made. And that was like the original. It was
supposed to be a game. It was supposed to be a GameCube game too. That was the crazy part.
No, this is a different thing. This is a different one.
That's not the one. This
is a different one.
Okay.
And Link walks into this huge. I think it's the Temple of Time, and he's fighting a Goma, and they play with like the lighting in it, and like, just it's the most beautiful thing I think Nintendo's ever made in the history of Nintendo. But like, I mean, I was playing Breath of the Wild the other day a little bit, just running around doing stuff because that's what I do when I'm bored, instead of playing, games that I should probably be playing. And like, after playing, games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Destiny and Halo and stuff, games that move at 60 to 120 frames a second at 4K and just this beautiful texture work and facial animations and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I love Nintendo just as much as the next guy, right? Like, I think probably on this panel, I probably love them more than anyone here. But like, man, if we could just like you couldn't get, like, if you could get a new Zelda game that looked like Horizon Zero Dawn, wouldn't you jump on it in a minute?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just watched the thing that you were talking about, Corey. This looks absolutely fucking amazing.
I know.
I've never seen this until right now.
That was the Wii U game. That was the game that was supposed to come to Wii U, and then it was Breath of the Wild.
That looks so good. Like, why?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
There was a video I actually just watched the other day. That was it was basically like Breath of the Wild with ray tracing. And I think it was like a PC mod, literally, obviously, where they added ray tracing to it.
With the CEMU emulator.
Yeah, but like they didn't up-res any of the graphics. They just added ray tracing, and it made it look so amazing. Like,
did you see what ray tracing did for Minecraft?
Yeah, even that.
Did they employ the same fucking game?
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. I was honestly gonna say Xenoblade Chronicles for this is my answer. And the sad part is like those games actually run very well on the hardware that it's on. Like they look good, they look impressive, but they still look a little dated if that makes sense. But they still look good, like good games and stuff like that.
Look, I mean, like they look great, like, right? Like, I mean, like Zelda is a beautiful game for the hardware that it's on.
Well,
but like, I mean, like I said earlier, wouldn't you love a huge open world like Horizon Zero Dawn, but in the Zelda universe? Like,
yeah,
I would kill for that. That sounds amazing, right? Like that sounds, but we're never going to get that because it's Nintendo. And Nintendo, don't get me wrong, Nintendo is great at what they do, right? But like, it's just Breath of the Wild sells 22 million copies. If you get a Zelda game that looks like that, it sells 40, easy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know? So I just I don't know. It really bugs me sometimes, especially with the Zelda Wii U tech demo. It's like, oh my god, it's seriously the best looking thing Nintendo's ever made.
Yeah.
Or like, you could get like a gritty Dead Space style Metroid game, or I mean, Xenoblade would benefit also, but I mean, it's just, man. Now I'm upset.
Can you imagine Splatoon like coming out like Overwatch? Can you imagine that?
I mean, that would be cool, but also like I don't know if like, no offense to Overwatch, but I don't think it's like that graphically impressive. I just think like they
I think
have
it's just the colors.
Yeah, I mean they
Yeah.
have a art direction that really works for them, and it works for all the characters that they do. But like, when I think of super graphically intensive games, I think of Horizon, I think of Gears of War, I think of Gears 5, I think of even Assassin's Creed to an extent, something like that. And I love Breath of the Wild. I love Xenoblade. I love all those franchises, but it's still like constricted by Nintendo's hardware. And I know I'm starting to talk in circles about this, but man, if Nintendo would just let loose a little bit and get into that.
I say that all the time, Corey. I always say like Nintendo holds themselves back, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's done out of fear or it's done out of this self-righteousness or whatnot.
No, the thing is at the end of the day, all these companies are in the business to make money, right? Nintendo finds the most efficient way to make a console and to make a game. That's why their games never have huge cinematic cutscenes. It's why their games up until recently never had voice acting or very minimal voice acting. It's why they've always made a less powerful console, because it was cheaper to make, and so they could sell it cheaper but still make a profit on it, right? Like they haven't not made a profit on a console since the Nintendo 64. And I think the Nintendo 64 was the only console they lost money on when they sold it. So, I mean, yeah, look at the Game Boy versus things like the Game Gear or the Wonder Swan Color, or, other handhelds that were coming out at the time. Nintendo won because the Game Boy was cheap and the batteries lasted longer than everything else, right? You can't tell me that the Game Gear wasn't like a way better looking console than the Game Boy, right? In terms of graphical fidelity, obviously, like that thing was a monster.
Yeah.
But like
that thing slapped.
But like Nintendo won. Why? Because the batteries lasted 15 hours instead of an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, they are great at what they do, but also their goal of efficiency and cost effectiveness is also what many players would say hindering them in the graphical department and the technical department.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're just playing it safe, but they've been playing it safe for a long time, and I just think
they've been playing
with
I feel like the last real risk they took was the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. And like they got competition for like the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and like PC. They have all this competition, and they're just kind of like, we're just gonna just chill here, because they
People
know
would
that
say
the thing is
that people will still flock to what they deliver, right? But I think like I can't agree with you more, Corey. Like I think if they were like to say fuck it and just full send like a console, they would compete with like a lot of the big boys.
Yeah, but the thing too is like, even if they were to make a console on the parity, like power wise, with with the Series X and the PlayStation 5, like you look at Nintendo, well, they've got to revamp their entire online system, their entire account system, their entire storefront, their entire way they look at Virtual Console, and like,
I mean,
they would have to revamp all of
plenty,
that, and they don't want to invest in that.
Well, no, they've had plenty of opportunities. Let's be honest with them.
I agree. They've had
having this is going to sound so elitist, but having underpowered systems gives them the opportunity to do research and development to like bolster the stuff that is supplementary, stuff like that. Like the online thing. They should have had this shit right, since the Wii. They should have.
Yeah. Well, they need someone like. I mean, not that Microsoft would do it for them, but they need someone like Microsoft who knows how to like. That's like literally their entire business model is to have you in their account and ecosystem and online infrastructure.
Nintendo already has a strange relationship with Microsoft. What is stopping them?
I know, because they're an American company, and like no, I mean a lot of old school. Japanese
businesses, yeah.
I mean that's why Microsoft is having a hard time buying a Japanese company, right? Is because they like it's their honor system is like they only sell to other Japanese companies. Now other companies have come out and said, "Hey, Microsoft, please buy us." I'm looking at Platinum Games, essentially. But and obviously they got Tango GameWorks, but that was kind of part of the Bethesda package. So I mean, I don't know. As much as I love Nintendo, they frustrate me sometimes.
Well, Nintendo does something different that other system manufacturers don't do, is that they compartmentalize all their development and all their first party games into one major studio. Now we're talking like a studio that the size of a Guerrilla Games or an Infinity Ward or whatever, like a team of like 500 people or something like that, literally working on all these major franchises. And that's why it takes them 5-6 years to make a Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom. We're talking like there wasn't a huge graphical upgrade from, Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. So what took them 5-6 years to do this? That's because they probably have teams of people in this same studio, in the same building, working on other projects, working on Splatoon, working on Pokemon, if they need to do anything, working on Kirby. So like,
yeah,
it's also wild. It's also wild that it is like that. I almost feel like that.
It's like Valve, but except Nintendo puts games out, right? Because like, isn't that the thing at Valve is like they work on kind of whatever they want, and then if an idea starts to form, they form like a small team to work on it and pitch it.
Well, yeah, that's what they did with Portal. That's what they did with I think they got Left 4 Dead kind of started that way. They just made a team, and obviously they kind of broke away after Left 4 Dead pretty much finished. Yeah, I know those two in particular. They made a studio specifically for those games. So if Nintendo could do something like that, just maybe make a dedicated studio of just like all you do is make Zelda games, all you do is make Mario games. Like that.
That's what I was
content so fast.
Well, it's funny because like the Xenoblade team is like one of the maybe like three outside teams, and they've helped with Zelda. Like all the landscaping and all of like the world building and stuff that you see, they've done, right? Which is crazy because Monolith has 4 teams, and one is strictly asset creation for their other projects, and one team is strictly helping on Zelda, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, man. And then you have Retro, who's like chilling over here in Texas, like. Man.
Andre, Stoy, did you guys have a game you want to throw in there on the Nintendo side that you feel like would get a PlayStation release? That would benefit from a PlayStation release. I'm sorry, I just say it like that.
Personally, Metroid, Zelda, a Star Fox game would be sick.
Star Fox VR.
Whoa!
I mean, that would be pretty sick.
Hold on. Whoa!
Yeah.
Metroid Prime VR? Talk to me.
Metroid Other M VR?
Right? So yeah, so like there's games that
might not actually be a bad idea, Stoy. Like from I mean it'd play like what, Moss, I think, probably a little bit.
Yeah, I mean like I don't know if Pokemon would really be one. That'd be interesting. I don't know how that would kinda do, but I mean personally, again, Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox, right? So
get Pikmin in there. We'd have that knack technology in there.
Oh fuck!
Oh god,
that'd be kind of sick.
Thousands of Pikmin.
Little Pikmin remaster for the boys.
God, Pikmin 1's so good. I'm so excited for Pikmin 4. I don't care.
Me
if it
personally, I would love for F-Zero to come back. Period. But I would love for them to be able to, have the hardware to run the game, efficiently. So we're talking like I Red Out 2, I think, is one that comes to mind where it runs beautifully on the PlayStation 5 and Series X. And it would be nice to have a F-Zero game that is like looks super hyper realistic, super futuristic, gritty detail of good hardware. But I was thinking even like the reverse. We talked about how GameCube was the last time it actually stayed competitive in hardware. Because like they were porting games, left and right, like Call of Duty, some of the Battlefields, even like Resident Evil.
They were pulling Dreamcast games.
Yeah, so they were competing with PlayStation 2 and Xbox at the time, and like so, imagine if Nintendo had the hardware to have some of these big name titles. Imagine if Nintendo had the hardware to actually run Plague Tale Requiem without having it be a cloud version, or even Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the sales that they would get, like would just be like, yeah, I'll play it on the Switch. Call of Duty especially.
Because you bring up a very good point on that one. Like these games, those cloud games, like it's hurting not just the sales of the consoles, but it's also hurting the sales of the games because they're cloud version, and people still have like Stadia is shut down. Just think about that. Stadia is shut down. And like that was supposed to be the last great bastion of hope for cloud gaming and stuff like that.
It's because cloud gaming is a complement service. It's not a primary service, right? I think Xbox is kind of doing it, the correct way. Although I have less and less faith in cloud gaming as I continue to try other games, but so
xCloud's not doing it for you.
It's fine in some situations, but
you get to that whole problem of what do you actually own? What if they shut down the service? You can't access your game anymore. If they're not maintaining the service, which thankfully at the very least Google is refunding your money because like you buy these games to be able to play it on the cloud, but you can't play it then.
Yeah.
Another game I would like to see come back is a game called Jet Force Gemini.
You might see that on Xbox at some point because they own it now.
Do they? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that was a cool game.
That was a great. I love that game.
God, all those rare games on 64 were so just. If they weren't good, they were at least interesting.
Especially Castlevania 64, the best one ever made. Let's go. High fives in the chat. Anyone with me? Yeah.
No.
Corey,
no.
Yeah.
Skeletons on motorcycles. Get out of here with this.
Speaking of motorcycles, remember MotorStorm? Man, that game was cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I just watched the video of the downfall of that studio, how they went to make Drive Club and Sony just shut them down. Like you can't even buy Drive Club VR anymore.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I don't even think you can buy Drive Club. I don't think you can buy any of those period on the digital store.
You can't.
Which buy physical, I'm just saying. Because Drive Club is a great game.
Isn't that sad how great that game ended up turning out and nobody cared because it was out a year and a half later and it was just a disastrous development? Man.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our... before we move on, just to let you know, if you want your question read on the show, please tweet us at ps_crossroads or email us at crossroadspspod@gmail.com, or just hit us up on the Boss Rush Network Discord. Like, just reach out and talk to us. Like, you can't directly ask us questions on there, but you can like reach out, talk to us, and like slide in some DMs.
Yeah, Timmy.
That's
Timothy.
Poor Timmy. We're gonna have somebody's disgruntled parent like contact us in our Gmail.
No parents are naming their kids Timmy anymore. They're naming them Braden and Aiden and Caden and Faden and Jaden and all these Aidens. Like
the guy who actually works in the school system knows.
Yeah.
True. It's a scary world.
I literally have a Braden and an Aiden on my and a Caden on my team. So
you have all three?
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
One day you should just be like, Aiden, and just watch all three of them like, what?
What? All three of them? Yeah. It's like, no, I said, I meant Caden, not Aiden. Oh,
yeah. Really
all right, so it's time for our big topic tonight. And you know what? This one comes straight from the headlines, dude, because the question I have tonight is how well should we trust gaming reviews after the news came down that Fandom, the world's largest fan platform, has acquired leading entertainment and gaming brands. Just to let you know, the acquisition of these two major conglomerations includes brands from Red Venues, who are better known for holding who are better known for GameSpot, Metacritic, TV Guide, GameFAQs, Giant Bomb, Cord Cutters News, and Comic Vine. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this tonight is because of this acquisition, Fandom will now rank as the 14th ad-supported site in the United States. Over the course of the last couple of years that Crossroads has been a thing, every now and then we talk about the fact that sometimes like reviews come out for and it's not just games, like you can kind of tell when it's a proper shill, that happens when the review is out for like a TV show, a movie, a video game, a book, an album, a record, whatever, and stuff like that. So we talk a mighty bunch of shit about certain outlets in the gaming community. Whether their name happens to be 3 letters or whether their name happens to rhyme with otaku and stuff like that. Like we talk a fair amount of crap about some of these places because sometimes like their math isn't mathing. To use a slang term.
Did you see the article that the one that rhymes with otaku put out today about Dark Souls bosses, about how Dark Souls bosses is everything wrong with how From Software treats women or something?
What?
And they were talking about a Dark Souls boss. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I saw someone tweet that out today. I'm like,
that's certain websites, that rhyme with otaku, like they're like the CNN of like the gaming news. They just throw stuff out there to generate shock and grab clicks, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you and this can apply to like a game, a movie, anything. If you're excited for a fucking game and you hear shit reviews about it and you still want to get it.
Well, I would say that, but the problem is, like, I'll use a real world example right now. The movie Don't Worry, Darling. The Olivia Wilde directed film that stars Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, and all that stuff. I really want to see this movie when the trailer came out, but this PR nightmare has happened behind this movie. I no longer want to go to theaters to watch the movie. I want to wait for the home release because what's going to happen is like it's a big distraction now. Like I'm going to be sitting there if I were to go to the movie theater where I can't just pause the movie, and do my thing for a few seconds and whatnot. I'm going to be distracted because I'm going to be looking out for the thing that all this news and media has done, and it's going to just take away from me trying to enjoy the film and stuff like that. And I also feel
I don't think it's part of the film. I think it's what happened during the film's premiere.
Well, there it is. Like if you're like me, like your brain gets to wondering, like you kind of know when something hits a breakdown. Like we've watched TV shows, like throughout the years, and we've known when like something happened in the writer's room. And so it'd be the same thing with me. But going back to this because I don't want to get off topic. I just feel that like. Okay, GameSpot probably wasn't like a really credible one, but every now and then I would read a GameSpot review for a game, and it would help me make an informed decision about a game that I wanted to play. Sometimes, Giant Bomb, yo, come on.
Yeah, but Giant Bomb doesn't really do reviews anymore.
That's true. They back in their heyday and stuff like that.
Especially when like half their team just left like within the last like 3 years.
Yeah. I have an example, but I will wait. I'll let you guys talk.
No, go for it because I will start spinning.
So the example I have, and this can actually kind of correlate to Corey. I remember you guys, because I just listened to the podcast today. I remember you and Josh talking about how the Destiny community complains about literally everything. Fucking a new season starts after the first mission. Someone's on Twitter and like, yeah, this season's trash. If you just listen to reviews all the time, you will never really get to experience a lot of things because you get driven a certain way. But if you just say who cares and play it, you might actually find that that's the game you've been looking for, but you just don't want to try it because XYZ over yonder is like, yeah, this game's shit in the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you say that, because like I want to say this, like you should never let someone's opinion like sway how you're going to enjoy something. That being said, like someone just shit posting about something you like, like you shouldn't let that sway whether or not you want to participate in this thing,
Yeah.
But when we look at people who they're like their 9 to 5 career, their 9 to 5 job, their career, whatnot, is like they review or they aggregate or stuff like that, like it's like when you hear the politicians say that January 6th was not a hoax. Oh, well, no, I'm sorry. January 6th was a hoax. I'm sorry. It's like that because like you're actually taking word from somebody you're supposed to trust and being able to help you make an informed decision when it's not the most trustworthy thing. One of the things I've said, since I've been doing this for a long while, because I used to be hooked up with a group called Pop Culture Shock, and we used to do similar stuff to what I do now here at Boss Rush. And one of the things I always try to do, especially when it comes to reviews, is number one, I always try to make sure I played at least 80% of the product that I was given for the review. That's one thing, because I've read reviews and it's like, did you even play the game? Did you just play the tutorial and that was it? But also the one thing I tried to do was I tried to be as unbiased as possible in my reviews, which is why not a lot of games got astronomically high reviews, but a lot of games did get low reviews, and it wasn't because I was being biased. I mean, like when I tell you that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 was a bad game, I mean it. Like I gave it a D- for a reason. The game was not a good experience, and this is me saying it as someone who's not being a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, because I am a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. But like Dark Void, for example, Dark Void was another low game that I gave a low scoring game I gave a review for, and stuff like that. You have to sit there, you have to actually sit down and play it, and you have to throw your expectations to the side. If you're hyped about this game, like for example, like the next Monster Hunter game comes out, if I get a review copy of that, I'm going to play it because number one, like it's a Monster Hunter game, but I'm also going to set aside my fandom to make sure that I'm giving people like the honest opinion. And that's something I feel a lot of these game review sites and stuff like that, do not do. And it's even worse when you have like a media influencer, that's getting paid, from somebody to say what they want to say.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even go to really any of these sites anymore. Like if it looks like fun and it interests me, I'm just going to get it. Like a game right now that's getting shat on by a ton of outlets or whatever. Well, 2 games really. Gotham Knights, I think a lot of people think that game looks like crap from what I've seen on the internet. I think it looks cool.
I've seen that too.
And I've just seen outlets straight up say they're not covering Hogwarts Legacy because of and it's just
the
like
J.K. Rowling fallout.
I'm just like,
first
of all,
number one, if you can't,
brave of you.
I know.
Yeah, number one,
good for you.
Good for you. Wow.
Well, first of all, like with this whole Hogwarts thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it like this: like if you can't even let your objectivity see around the fact that J.K. Rowling is not the real reason why the game came out, you have a problem. Yeah. You have a problem, and I want to say that you probably are not in it. Like people joke about me all day long about the fact that I don't finish my video games that I start playing. I have a metric fuck ton of video games in my backlog and stuff like that. But at least I can say I'm a gamer and I still enjoy them. There's no grandstanding for me, huh?
You don't beat your games? What?
No, he doesn't, Andre.
What? Oh, God.
There's no. there's no grandstanding for me as far as like, all this stuff and things like that. I hate the practice of the EA and Activision and all this stuff does to their staff and employee and all this stuff. But I still have games from them.
Wasn't it funny when all this Activision Blizzard stuff came out, by the way, and everybody said, let's boycott all of Activision Blizzard's games, and 2 weeks later, everybody was giving Diablo 2 9s and 10s.
It's the snake eating itself at the tail.
Guys, come on.
That's literally what
go one way or the other,
Imagine, I just want these people to imagine that, for example, they got caught in the wrong doing one thing, and all of a sudden people are saying, I will make sure you no longer get a paycheck. That's how you guys sound to these developers, the people who actually went to school, put the due diligence in to create the stuff that we love to do. That's what you sound like. You sound like you're literally putting them out of a job because the CEO doesn't even make the video games. Yeah. The CEO did something wrong, and it's like, oh, I got a rotten apple off this tree. I'm cutting the whole thing down.
Man, it's just, I don't know, man. I think a lot of things too is everybody feels like they have to stage a message when they're talking about games too. Just play the game, man. Just play the game. Tell us what you think. If you want to be for something or against something, that's fine. But don't put it into your review unless the game revolves around that type of situation, right? I mean, there are very clear games that revolve around certain situations in terms of sexual orientation or Tell Me Why is a good example, right? That whole game revolves around a transgender person. Give your opinion on that. That's great. And then tell me how the game is, right? But a game I don't know, Tetris Effect Connected. Don't give me, and this is just a hypothetical thing, right? This didn't really happen, but don't give me a game that has nothing to do with even people. Tell me how racist it is because one of the songs used Hindu hymn or something, right? So
yeah,
which actually happened in Little Big Planet. Now that I think about it, it happened in Little Big Planet. They had to patch the game they had to delay the game because they had to take that song out and patch it in when the game released or something.
Yeah, I just feel like ultimately it's gonna get hard. Well, number one, and you know what? As part of the Bossers Network, we put reviews of stuff of games and stuff up all the time. As a matter of fact, I was going to spotlight a review from our very own Stoy here for Blossom Tales 2 a little bit later in the wrap up section. But what are you doing, Andre?
Oh, can you see that shit? Sorry.
Andre went to outer space just now.
Sorry, I didn't think that would show my bad. Sorry.
He didn't think something on camera would show up on camera, guys.
God, thank God he didn't stand up. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the more and more of these companies are getting bought up and stuff like that, the harder it's going to be because we see companies give games 9s and 10s and Game of the Year awards and stuff like that, and the games, in my opinion, the games couldn't even hold a glass of water. Mm-hmm. It's that's the way I'm feeling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think me personally, and I don't want this to come across as a whole thing, but anybody can do what they want. But this is why I have such a hard time reaching out and accepting codes from people now, because I used to do that and I felt obligated to give the game something, and I was I'm not doing this anymore because I mean I don't have nearly as many ins as I used to when I was with my old group, but I still have some connections at Yacht Club and Platonic and a couple of these other smaller developers because I know people that work there or I've worked with them before or whatever. But I don't want to do that anymore because I don't want it to, even though I think as a content creator, podcaster, writer, whatever, I've matured past that point. I don't want to have any type of influence that way anyway, you know? Like, I know a lot of people were excited that the Ghostbusters PR people were reaching out and saying, "Hey, influencers, come apply to get our game." And like, I applied for one for Boss Rush, but I would never take that because I don't want to be the person to do that. You know, I want to review the games that I purchase myself, you know. And I know that's like a really maybe sideways way of thinking that, but like, I don't know.
Well, I've always felt with reviews in general, there's always an implicit bias that I don't care who you are, and I'll take the blame for this too as well because I write reviews. Is that there's always an implicit bias that you inject of yourself into that game review because we all have a preference. We all have a kind of like we all have a preference to the types of games that we play. So, if I were to play Madden, 2022 or 23, like I'm going to inject my implicit bias in it because I'm not a football fan, but the guy down the street from me that is a huge football fan that loves to play Madden every year may give it a more favorable review than I am. There is no such thing as a non-biased review these days. That's why they call them reviews, because this person's giving their personal impressions on the game. So me personally, I don't read reviews. I don't look at scores. I don't do anything like that because I want to be able to make my own decision and reach my own conclusion on something because, there's games out there that get poorly reviewed that I thoroughly enjoy. And then there's games that get, hugely praised and that I personally don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even bother. But I think to kind of circle back to this, acquisition of all these websites, some of those websites are not going to be around much longer. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, true.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to start to consolidate a lot of their staff and consolidate a lot to like one singular website or two singular websites. So I wouldn't be surprised
it's gonna
if
be the whole Warner Brothers Discovery thing. Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if GameSpot would go away and they move their staff all the way to another different website.
I didn't even know GameFAQs was owned by like a bigger corporation. I always thought GameFAQs was like a fan. It was like, a community thing.
It was, and then CBS Interactive purchased it, and then
there we go.
And so like all these companies used to be this was the joke I made in the Twitter chat.
Yeah, it was part of CBS Media Ventures. Because I remember that.
A lot of all these companies at one point were part of that CBS Interactive because CNET was in there.
Yeah, GameSpot,
and GameSpot and Giant Bomb, and they were sold to Red Ventures. I remember this because this was like
now I get why you're saying is it like that pass around and so.
And this is why like half the Giant Bomb crew left is because like they were sold to Red Ventures and they just didn't want to deal with this stuff anymore, right? It was easier to go out on their own, which granted, if I had the following that, they did, I would, that would probably be the smart move in this day and age.
Corey, if you abandon me, I will find you and strangle you.
That's fine. You know where I live.
I do.
I think that you guys are right where a lot of these will just be folded into one or two or three things, right? I can't see all of these sticking around much longer.
Yeah.
But I don't even know how GameSpot still exists, to be honest with you. Giant Bomb, I can see that's a brand. That's like a, I don't want to say like a prestige name, but it is like a brand that, yeah, especially like the way that, I mean, you think of every Let's Play you've ever seen, every like podcast you've ever listened to, like they were pretty much pioneers in all of that stuff. Streaming, the way websites are set up, that kind of thing. Like that, if Giant Bomb, that name went away, there would be a lot of like mourning in the game industry, but like, man, GameSpot and like GameFAQs, I guess, whatever. I'm using their guide on Link's Awakening because the Zelda Dungeon one is broken, which is a whole nother thing. We'll talk about it on whatever. But I think that still carries some weight too, because I think a lot of people, especially the older generation of media people, got their start there. I know a lot of IGN people got their start on GameFAQs writing there, and but man, some of these other ones, like some of them I've never even heard of some of these, I can't. I mean, not that means anything, but I can't imagine a lot of these companies sticking around. Let me see. I'm going to try to pull a graphic here because I don't even Metacritic. Oh, boy, neat. TV Guide. You really think TV Guide's going to stick around? Comic Vine.
Yeah. TV Guide's gonna, as long as there's broadcast television, TV Guide's going to stick around.
So, all right. Well, let me see. Okay, so GameFAQs, Giant Bomb, Cord Cutters, Vine, Comic Vine, TV Guide. See, I could see TV Guide and Cord Cutters moving into one thing. I could see Comic Vine being folded into GameSpot and being like a game culture type thing. So, I don't know. That's just me. I'll stop talking now.
Any final thoughts, guys?
I hope nobody loses their jobs over this acquisition. Because, a lot of acquisitions means merging and eliminating positions and stuff like that. So that's it.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and get ready to wrap it up then.
Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool.
Oh, come on.
If I don't.
Oh, don't encourage him. Don't.
I think we both know what happens when you don't, Andre.
Yep.
He's ignoring.
Well,
me.
guys, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank everyone that took the time and the opportunity to hang out with us here at the Crossroads Video Game Podcast. You guys make this thing fun. You do. Really, really. Seriously, you do.
Laurent, it was a good time.
Thank you. Sorry about the technical snafus that caused us to be a half hour late. Sorry about that.
You're fired.
Yeah. No, don't.
All right, Andre.
We're getting ourselves a new
Andre's got
Laurent.
this next week. Andre's got this next week.
I'll start on time. Simple. And I finish my games too.
Sick.
Okay, see. Now you're doing too much. Okay. All right. Before we head out, here's how you can get connected with our panel tonight. Corey, go first, man.
You can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on Nintendo Pow Block, the Boss Rush Podcast, and a plethora of other things here on the Boss Rush Network.
All right. Andre, since you have a whole bunch of stuff to say, talk about yourself.
Nah.
I'm Canadian, so no, I'm just kidding. You can find me on YouTube at, I don't know if you really at on YouTube, but just look up Andre Wilson on YouTube. I'll pop up. I'm doing cool things. I made a video where I cloned myself, which is one of the coolest things I've ever done. Ever.
By the way, sir.
Yeah.
By the way. You guys show me some things.
Yeah, like that shot I had to film 8 times, and then even editing that was a little tricky. But I will show you. It was a lot of fun. It was super cool. If you haven't seen it, it's a short. Go see it. Also, Instagram, Twitter at ANNDRE_WILSON. Follow me on both of those to stay up to date with what I do with my life. That's all she wrote.
Story.
I am on the EXP Cast. We're a video game podcast in the Boss Rush Network as well. You can follow me there at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EXP Cast, and you can also follow me on my personal Twitter at Stoy MKE8.
All right, and as always, you can catch up with me by just looking me up social media, YouTube, Twitch, or hit me up on PlayStation Network and Steam. Exodus 803. That's the magic. That's the magic combination to go for. Don't forget. Stop. You know what? Oh, that might be the name for my alt.
You did that to yourself.
Yeah, that was all you.
You just get. Hey, that might be what I named my alt account.
Okay.
Thank you.
By the way, Andre, I added you to the Boss Rush Network and Friends banner at the bottom of our YouTube page.
Hey-o.
So
make it
easier
make
to
it
find
big.
you.
That. You're one of us.
One of us.
You're right next to Exodus 803 and EXP Cast and Blocks Gaming Reviews.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And also don't forget Wednesday nights, Boss Rush podcast, and the little thing we call Boss Rush After Dark, which you have to be part of the Boss Rush Network Patreon to get early access to for that. So don't forget. Before we head out, there's a couple of things you may want to head over to bossrush.net to check out. First up, we have where is it? I lost track of it. My bad. Brad Melville asked readers, do you trust Nintendo to make another Star Fox game in the September 28th edition of the Boss Rush Banter?
I want them to. I
want them to. They should. They shouldn't pass it off to someone else. They tried doing that, and we got Star Fox.
To be fair, we got Star Fox. We got Star Fox Adventures, Star Fox Assault, and
Star Fox Adventures was great.
And Star Fox Zero from Platinum. So
that is true. Yeah, Zero. That's what I was thinking about.
Give us a sequel to Star Fox Adventures. I'll die happy.
Here's the thing: Star Fox Adventures, decent game, bad Star Fox game. It was like a mediocre Zelda game at best.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that.
Still fun though.
All right,
still played it.
All right, and please be sure to check out Stoy's game review for Blossom Tales 2, the Minotaur Prince, over at the bossrush.net website right now. And lastly, Corey, Ed, and Lamont come together to talk about the classic Ninja Turtles video games to celebrate the release of the Cowabunga collection in the podcast. Why am I?
It's called Standard Definition, Laurent.
Thank you. The Standard Definition Retro and Nostalgia Podcast. There we go. Links to all these topics can be found in the live stream chat right now as we talk about it. And don't forget to also head over to bossrush.net to check out more from our more editorials and shows from our ever-growing family of creators and contributors. I'm starting to wind down. It's getting sleepy time now.
Dude, it's been sleepy time for like 45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
As always, you can chat with us and keep the conversation going by hitting us up on Twitter at ps_Crossroads to dish on more news, events, and topics while we're getting ready for the next installment of Crossroads. Everyone, this has been episode 96 of the Crossroads podcast. Wow. We're getting closer. We're inching ever closer to that number 100. Guys, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I invite
We're
you
all
all
going to be drunk. It's going to be great.
Yeah, sure I think I will be drunk. I think I'll just be drunk for that.
You sure about that?
I'm probably going to crack open a beer.
Okay.
Why not?
Right,
100. I mean, I joined like the last quarter, but I'm here.
You got to celebrate somehow.
Like, hey, I will be wearing sunglasses, a gecko onesie, and having a beer. So if you want to see that, come on in and one of those drink.
All right, guys. We invite you to come back and join us next week.
After that, I don't know if they want to.
Oh my God, help me.
For another all-new episode of the Crossroads podcast. Please, if you like the show, consider subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting the like and turning on notifications for the next show. And always share, rate, and review us wherever you check out the audio versions of our show. As part of the Boss Rush Games family, we want you all to have a great night. And please remember to play games, be better, and don't always take every review seriously. If you feel like you want to play a video game, just go ahead and play it. Like you derive your own satisfaction from whatever you do, just as long as it's a good time for you. There we go.
You never know.
All right, everybody. What's that?
You never know.
Yeah, true. All right, everyone. That's all for us tonight. Have a good night out there, and we will catch you next time. Take care.